going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, and I'm really pissed that Demi Moore didn't win an Oscar. I felt like, here's the thing about Oscars. Like, I get it. Like, they're like a one-off situation, but like sometimes it really feels like there should be some sort of like consideration for like the actor in their career.
They do that sometimes. That's kind of why Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actor.
Well, then why not now? I mean, in no disrespect to our winner,
Mikey Madison.
Yes.
Honora was incredible. She did some great accent work. But it is funny.
What did you want Demi Moore to win for?
The Substance.
Oh, you watched?
No.
You're a big fan of body horror about like Margaret Qualley crawling out of the back of Demi Moore's
Guys, it's
back.
not about me.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's about Demi.
You know, I don't have to, like, the art's not for me. I'm not a fan of body horror, but like I'm a huge fan of Demi and her career, and I think it's an incredible story. And she's someone who like has taken a couple years off. She's been in some things here and there, and for her to come out and be in The Substance and like crush it, and I've heard nothing but amazing things from everyone who's seen the movie, and I just would have loved her to win.
Her losing is kind of the plot of The Substance, though.
That's what I saw a tweet.
Saying
Demi Moore losing to Mikey is basically the plot of Substance.
Yeah. It's, younger actors being more lauded for work, whereas older women kind of get brushed over. But she did win the Golden Globe, and the Oscars famously don't always make the right decision.
You know, but the Golden Globe is kind of like they took a couple years off. It's like isn't even an award show anymore.
Let me see.
I mean, Nikki brought it back in the best possible way. So
not only did Nikki bring it back, but then her comedic gold was solidified with Adam Sandler using her joke as the punchline for his bit.
She won the Critics' Choice Award as well, and the Satellite Award. And she won the SAG.
So basically,
Screen
they're saying
Actors
she
Guild.
doesn't deserve an Oscar because she has so many other awards at this
so
point.
is this the
I'm
people
not saying
at the
she
Academy
wasn't
trying to be different? No,
I think Honora also like swept the Oscars, so it kind of they do that sometimes.
Literally, have never heard of the movie.
It's an incredible movie.
What's it about?
It's about.
I saw an interview where there was not an intimacy coordinator.
There wasn't. It's
indie,
but they both were like. It was like some intense sex scenes.
I guess if you both sign off of it and you're both like, hey, listen.
How did Amelia Perez win anything after?
Because people are stupid.
Okay.
But well, because there's more than just one actor who made that movie. That's just one person who.
I thought it was the director. No.
It was just it was best song.
Is the lead actor or something?
There's a lot of criticisms about Amelia Perez outside of the Carla Sofia Gascon. Of it all,
my only criticism is really like I just want to start hearing of more movies that are actually talked about at the Oscars as opposed to like we know about Wicked.
It does feel like it's the same like 3 movies that just like keep winning and keep talking about it and keep.
I mean, Wicked didn't really win that much.
That's what I'm saying. It's even the more obscure. It's just like I don't know. Adrian Brody won another Oscar for. Essentially playing the same role,
The Brutalist,
that he won an Oscar for 20 years ago. In between the 20 years, we've only seen him in like some random cameos. He's had a very interesting career. He was in Succession. He had a
cameo in Succession.
A bit in Succession. He had a role as a bad guy in one of the seasons of Peaky Blinders. You know, it's like
I heard this is I can't substantiate this as fact. But I heard that he was waiting to see if he won the Oscar before he would take any other roles.
Well. Some way to do it.
Yeah.
That sounds very Adrian Brody.
He's got actor brain for
sure. He's very serious about himself.
He did when he was going on stage to do a speech through his like gum to his girlfriend. Did you see that?
Love.
He was like chewing his like, oh my God.
When she
caught it. She was like, I got you.
He threw it. See?
How did she feel about the kiss with Halle Berry?
Yeah.
Haven't heard from her.
Well, wasn't it revenge?
How would you feel about it?
I'd probably be like, I don't really know what they're referring to. Like, I don't remember this like iconic moment 22 years ago. So I don't know if it was like as
I don't remember that moment. Can we bring it up? But regardless, I'm assuming Adrian wasn't dating the same person. So like if let's say 10 years ago, I'm in a different relationship and then I don't know, was Halle Berry married then?
I don't know.
So like let's say if I were single 10 years ago and then my co-star I don't know what this let's say I kissed someone.
Why are they kissing though?
I guess apparently he kissed her
happening?
at the
He
Oscars.
kissed her out of kind of nowhere at the Oscars a long time ago, and she like kind of got him back.
The two first cross paths on stage at the 2003 Oscars when Barry presented Brody with the Best Actor statuette for his performance in The Pianist. When Brody took to the stage to accept the award, he embraced Barry, kissing her and remarking, "I bet they didn't tell you that was in the gift bag." So he surprised her because he was so excited about winning the award and like laid one on her. And then Halle repaid the gesture on the carpet.
How pissed would you be if like 10 years ago, someone who I worked with in the past
I'd probably be like,
they
what
get
the
dibs
fuck?
because like at one point 10 years ago, we did a bit.
But it's also Halle Berry.
Yeah.
And it's also
Halle
maybe
Berry might
arguably the
make
most
me even
beautiful
more
woman
pissed
ever
because
in the
she's
world.
Literally so perfect. We would probably have maybe a little bit of a fight later
You think it'd be
on.
like a quiet ride home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, legs are shifted towards the door and window. I'm looking
The body
out the
language would
window.
be body
Yeah.
But
language.
what if Nick also won an Oscar that night?
I mean, congrats. But like, what does that do for me?
It's Halle Berry though. That's a flex for you.
Yeah.
Like Halle Berry.
But they
kissed my
already
husband.
kissed 10 years ago. So it's like still a flex for me because like my boyfriend.
But he kissed her 20 years ago.
I mean, I feel like I would still regardless be like, hey, I feel like maybe no. I don't know.
It does feel a little like, oh, okay, I guess.
Maybe if he like told her like, hey, are you cool with this? Like me and Halle are planning on like
And
recreating
then-
this moment.
Later in the night, he throws her his gum.
And then gives a 5-minute
It wasn't
speech.
like, hey babe, like, you know, when your loving partner like sticks out their hand like this and just, babe, you need to spit out your gum. It wasn't like that. He like fucking woman.
And she
Take the
caught
gum.
it. She
Did
caught
he
it.
say anything about her in his 5-minute long speech?
Yeah.
Did he say
Ooh.
something about
I
Hal?
don't remember, but he did break a Guinness World Record for the longest speech.
Were they playing the
At the
music
Oscar.
over him?
Yes, and he said, "I've been here before. Stop."
Do you ever see a SNL appearance where he?
Yes, I have.
What's,
Where he does a Jamaican accent to introduce a band that was not planned. It was not planned.
I
He
don't think
did
he's
that.
been
He
invited
took
back.
He hasn't been, but it's a rumor they got banned. They don't ban anyone because they don't care.
I do have a little like Oscar tea. Our babysitter, also an elite socialite, got to go to all the Oscar parties last night.
Ooh.
She was running late this morning. She was like, I just got home.
Oh.
I was like, okay, can't wait to leave you in the hands of.
She's
So everyone's going on nap time right now.
She is our babysitter and
Yeah,
also
that's what
like
she said.
besties with like, you know, A-listers. Turns out, I guess there's also like an elite Hollywood party that people go to. I forgot his last name. She said his name's Guy or something. I don't know.
Guy Pearce?
No.
Guy Ritchie.
No, it's not
Guy
an
Fieri.
It's not an actor's
Guy
name.
Fieri is like where everyone's going.
I've never
Oh,
heard of
hell
this
yeah.
person's name. There may be like some like hot shot
Apparently used to be
producer.
married to Madonna.
Oh, okay.
Guy Ritchie.
Oh,
That's Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
No. Oh.
No, I would have known Guy Ritchie. Maybe it's Guy Ritchie. She did not. She could have got his last name wrong. I don't know. There's a guy named Guy.
Okay.
He throws cool Oscar parties, and word on the street is Miles Teller, excellent dancer.
Like shut down the dance floor.
He was in Footloose.
Miles
He
Teller.
was in Footloose.
Was he?
Oh my
The
god.
new-
The 2011
yeah,
Footloose.
throwback.
Oh, well, there you go.
No, the Kevin
Miles
Bacon
Teller
original.
strikes me as a guy who, like, I feel like a lot of like actors in Hollywood, like, it just, you know, generally theater kids. Maybe it's a stereotype, but like. They grew into themselves in adult life, and they maybe got cool after they became celebrities. And I feel like Miles Teller has a little bit of like, he was always a little cool. Like
He was
always,
cool in The Gorge.
He always. I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It's The Gorge. It's fun.
Okay, it's fun.
He was in
Uh-huh.
Divergent.
He was in
He was.
Divergent.
He danced in The Gorge. Not
but
physically.
apparently he's got some moves, and I would like to dance with him toe to toe. Go head to head.
People did say you need dance lessons after the Bella Thorne promo.
All right, calm down,
Jesus.
internet. I wasn't like trying. I was just being weird.
You were acting, in my opinion.
Speaking of, it's a wild and dramatic episode, the one with Bella Thorne and Going Deeper last week. Also, this Friday, not Wednesday, we have a very special Going Deeper. A finalist of Traitors will be with us. You will be very excited about who they are. And that will be this Friday directly following the finale and reunion of Traitors this week. So change your schedule. We'll be with you on Friday. Reality Recap is Thursday, as always.
Well, we were out of town this past weekend, and I got a pinched nerve in my back.
Oof.
Terrible, awful. I've never had one before. It was the worst thing I've ever experienced, and it's because
You're getting closer to 30.
Yeah, I'm getting closer to 30. I'm getting old, everybody. I'm getting old. Yikes. So, no, it's because we didn't bring a crib for River, so she slept in the bed with us, and she sleeps like a crazy person. Like, no, literally spread, starfish, like legs up, legs down, head to the left. It's the crazy. Yeah. So I had, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe 3 inches of space on that bed. And the entire night I'm like straining to not fall off the bed. You know, so I'm like tightening every muscle to like stay on the bed.
That is me most nights, by the way.
I was going to say, sounds like great sleep.
No, I look over at Nick and he's like, he forgets that it's a king size bed and he could be on the complete other side and I wouldn't even know he's there. But no, he's right up under me as well. So the next morning I am like bending down to get River or changing her diaper, doing something like, and I twist and it's over for me. So then I tell Nick, I'm like, I've pinched a nerve in my back, like seriously. And I keep having to like bend down to pick River up. And he's like, well, first of all, you shouldn't be bending. You should be squatting. Like, are you fucking kidding?
Technique.
Are you kidding right now?
I mean, bad back.
He's like, it's like rule number 1, you squat. And I'm like, no, sure. But this has nothing to do with my form right now. Like this was because of our sleeping arrangements.
Well, maybe.
Also, I love that there's a tip, not a I got it.
No, yeah. Not like oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, honey.
No,
what happened?
Right.
It's like a
mansplaining backs.
Man helping as well.
Gotta start squatting. You cannot bend. Rule number 1. So,
don't do that. Like
so helpful.
Then she punched me.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
We saw a very famous person. I'm not going to say who because I want to. It was very cool. It was cooler than Meg Ryan.
Whoa.
Doesn't matter. But,
And they checked out River.
And this very famous person looked at our beautiful daughter and kind of went, And then we were at a restaurant that served both. It was a Sunday morning lunch. I don't know. Sunday lunch. We went and got lunch. And then in this particular place serves lunch. They also have a breakfast buffet of some sorts.
So brunch?
Buffet.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
why
kind of...
he's being so
Yeah, I
weird
guess a
about?
You keep saying they served lunch, but they also served
A
lunch.
buffet.
No, it's the buffet.
It was a brunch. Yes, it
Here's
was a
the thing.
brunch buffet.
It's a me thing. I don't. This is like maybe I'm alone here. And as someone who grew up in a large family, yes, we went to. Are you guys familiar with Old Country Buffet?
Yep.
What about Hometown Buffet?
I'm not familiar with, but I imagine it's it's the same thing.
No longer exists.
There was also like the Ponderosa buffet, just like buffets in general. Like we frequented them as children growing up, but like as an adult, I will say one of the very few things that I really appreciate and the privileges that I enjoy the most is the ability to like level up when it comes to like quality of food. And I just like, I'm of the opinion, and maybe I'm alone, that if you like go to a restaurant that serves like individual meals and you can like order off the menu and just get like your own dinner, I don't know who in their right mind would opt for the community's food that's been sitting out for hours and several, I don't know how many people have been scooping out of the same fucking food. But this A-list celebrity with, I can only imagine what their wealth may be, like opted for the buffet. And I was really like, wow, they're really just like us. Not
Stars.
me, for sure.
You were judging
I would
like
never.
us.
I was like, ew, disgusting. Oh my God. How could they?
Were you considering like, are they going through a tough time financially? Like
It raised a lot of questions. I was like, oh my God, what are they doing?
Maybe
Like,
they just always appreciate a good deal.
a selection.
Maybe so. Yes. I mean, again, like this is my snobby side coming out, but
Were you at a
Would
fancy
you?
restaurant?
Yes, buffets are amazing.
I love buffets.
God,
I love a
really?
buffet moment.
Also,
I love a buffet.
It is the
Yeah.
era of charcuterie, so some people like to snack on the options versus getting one of the same thing.
Does nothing gross to you about like just, I don't know, mashed potatoes, half gone, who knows how long it's been out there, sitting under a lamp?
Nick, you're talking to people who eat Whole Foods hot bar for lunch consistently.
I guess, right? I mean, I really am alone. There's a whole like half the city is hot girls go to Air One and pay $30 for orange chicken.
That's true.
That's been sitting out there.
That's
I just find
true.
it to be fucking
But
appalling
it-
and disgusting.
I do think it's one thing to like, go to like get a lunch at an Air One or a Whole Foods and do like the hot bar. But if you're at a restaurant that serves you, like you have your own
You're
From the
waiter,
kitchen.
You have a waiter.
like you can order a burger, but
You're
you
gonna
like
have to tip 'em anyways.
choose.
No, I feel that way about Van Belt sushi. Like I love going to the sushi places that do that, but I only order fresh from the kitchen.
Yeah.
See, you're the issue there, Sarah.
No, my God. Like,
Go to a different restaurant.
ugh,
But it's
God.
still good sushi. I just don't want to pick it off because I don't know how many times it's gone around the entire
Exactly.
restaurant. What if
Yeah.
someone's
God.
touched it, opened it?
That's
Put it
Food
back.
needs to be fresh and warm and hot. It needs to be like I want it right out of whatever.
He wants a hot salad.
Whatever it's meant to be, that's what I want it to be.
Okay.
If it's meant to be ice cold, I want it fucking ice cold. Like, oh God, nothing worse than a shrimp cocktail. Thank you. That's a little like melted. Oh my God, I'll lose my fucking mind. A little gooey.
The amount of times he's like, I'm going to order a shrimp cocktail. And then as soon as it hits the table, he's like, this is not going to be good. This is slimy.
I won't eat it.
This is not cold enough.
And there'll be like 4 uneaten shrimp with like 1 bite. And they're like, oh, you don't like it? No, it's totally great. Like, it's fine. I won't send it back. I won't, like, that's a me problem. I recognize my
psychosis.
Yeah. I was going to say peccadillos, but like, whatever.
You are the pickiest eater.
I'm surprised you don't argue or not. You don't confront the waiters when it's wrong.
It's a me problem.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can't, I'm not so arrogant that I would expect an entire restaurant to like change how they do things.
Okay.
And I'm not a chef. I mean, I like to cook, but like, who am I to be like, can I talk to the chef, please, and like critique their shrimp cocktail?
But what if they accidentally put mayonnaise on whatever you ordered?
Oh,
like, are you sending it back?
Yeah, I will very
Okay.
gently and politely say, like, you know, again, I'm crazy and like I must not have asked for it 5 times. No, but then I was like,
plain, just lettuce,
please
just
don't spit on my food.
cheese. No
you know,
sauce.
I'll always ask him not to spit on my food.
Okay.
But I'm very gentle. But like, if it's just how they did it, I mean, I guess it's like, oh, I guess I'll never come back. You know?
Still need to figure out this Shake Shack in first class of whether or not he gets a plain burger
I'll
or
let
the
you know.
sauce on the side.
I'll let you know on Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I'm flying. I have to
first
fly
class?
Oh yes, babe.
We're back.
You had the option. You had the ops.
The option.
I can't.
Are you staying behind
can't
so
get
this
on
is
an
not
I
a
have to fly to
airplane?
DC. I
Yeah,
have to fly
exactly.
to
If I don't
DC,
go, he
and-
upgrades to first.
And I did not get upgraded. I'm
You requested.
YouTube's paying for me to fly to DC and teach people how to do the internet, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats.
To teach people how to secure their own first class seats.
Yeah.
Get a
Without
deal
their
with
wife
YouTube.
or kid.
Yeah.
Sorry, Natalie.
No, she
Okay.
could have. She could have come. She could have came. But we've been obviously traveling
We've
so
been
much.
going and going
We've
and
been going and going and going, and like I am representing the family
Once again.
once again.
And thank God
Yeah.
for it. Once again.
We have an amazing episode lined up for you. The one and only, truly one and only, Carolyn from Traitors is with us, as well as Taylor Green from Southern Charm. They are both with us this episode. It's wild, wacky, and fun. Carolyn, wild stuff. So we recorded the Carolyn bit last week. We did go out of town, and basically last week at some time, the day we were leaving town, a member of the household here, Zach, has some connections with the Survivor franchise. Carolyn famously has been part of that franchise. And so there was some back and forth. We were trying to get Carolyn on. She wasn't like in the right space at that point to do the interview. And then like the day of, when we were flying out, Carolyn was flying to LA, and then we found out that Carolyn decided that she wanted to come on the show. And there was like a 10-minute window between like when I had to go to the airport and when Carolyn was like we had Zach go pick her up at the airport and try to get her in. So that's later this episode. I had like 10 minutes to talk with Carolyn, and then Justin and Sierra graciously finished that interview. So that is later this episode. She's something.
Oh yeah,
She's
she's a
really-
character, and I adore her.
I can see why she did very well, because you really don't know if she's doing a bit or
What's going to come out of her mouth next?
or what's going to come out of her mouth next. She really keeps you on your toes. It's a wild and wacky, fun interview. And again, we have Taylor on. Speaking of thinking it was a bit, it's come to our attention. A couple weeks ago, we pointed out that we were surprised. You know, obviously, you guys know where we land in the Justin and Blake situation, yada yada. And a lot of like big names people haven't really, most people just haven't spoken up about it, but like a lot of like the bigger names in Hollywood haven't. But like Whitney Cummings was someone who I thought was Team Justin, because like I saw something on X of her saying that Blake and Ryan were the most like obnoxious people in Hollywood. It's come to my attention by people close to the situation.
Sources
say that apparently she's is Team Blake and not Team Justin, and that the video that I saw, I guess, was a bit. I don't know. Didn't seem like a bit to me, but like, you know, art is subjective. So, but good to know that Whitney Cummings is on Team Blake. So we were wrong. We
have another person on our side.
We have one
It
other
feels
person on our
good.
side, so that's good to know. I harshly said that Whitney would be embarrassed when she realizes, you know, what I think is the truth. But turns out she already is. So
Yeah.
our bad. Our bad. My bad.
You're bad. Yeah. I mean, I stand by what I said. I don't really have a soul, so period.
Soulless Mary.
Soulless me. Yeah.
Do you want to say why?
No.
Do you have a reason?
I'll leave it up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving
Very
on.
soon.
Anyways,
Do it that way you will.
Whitney, I personally am sorry for not realizing it was a bit, and glad to have at least one other person on our side.
Did you watch the Ruby Franke documentary?
Oh my God,
Not
no,
yet,
but I want to really
you
bad.
You need to. Especially like you and I, Natalie, grew up in the era of like family vloggers and like 8 Passengers was the thing back in the day. So to see like it unfold from their perspective is wild.
It is crazy. I had never heard of them. Obviously, like I know of so many other family vloggers. But it's like I saw some clips from the documentary and watching some of these clips, it just shows you like, honestly, what I feel like to be the truth of behind the scenes of every single one of these family vloggers who like make their children perform for the camera. Like, i.e. Ruby being like, who are you named after to her son? And he's like, my grandpa. And she's like, you say it with more like enthusiasm. Be happier when you say it. And he's like, I'm just not happy right now. And she's like, well, you better act like you are, And it's like, we're not going to do this if you're not. And then he's like, my grandpa. And she's like, thank you. It's just crazy how, and I feel like that's every single family vlogger who has their kids doing a bit or dancing or whatever the hell it may be. It's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like interested to watch, obviously. I think she's in prison for how long?
I want to say it was 30 years, but I might be wrong with that. But basically the daughter, Sherry, was like, I hope she's not out until like the kids are 18 or over.
No, she's a monster.
Yeah. But it is interesting to your point, Natalie, that in the documentary, the family surrendered over like thousands of hours of footage that was never seen. Yeah. So you see all of the moments of her scolding them.
Her being like, oh, well, I'll just cut this out whenever I edit it on YouTube. It's like, it reminds me so much of that. I don't even remember who, and I think I might have talked about this before, but I don't remember who the YouTuber was, but it was like her and her maybe like 6-year-old son. And she's like talking about how her dog had died. Yeah. And she's like, we have to make a thumbnail. Cry. And she's like, put your hand over your eyes like you're crying. And he's like, I don't want to.
Or he's like, I am crying or something. And she's like, no, but like make it look
like you're actually crying. I mean, it's just
listen,
it's so sad.
Before YouTube, though, like child actors, we've all heard all the horrific stories about Hollywood and child actors. And obviously, there's a lot of bad actors in Hollywood in terms of people who good parents thought their kids were safe and they weren't. But there's also like a lot of parents out there who like thrusted their kids into this space, pushed them into it, and kind of were like, dance moms.
Yeah, our entire life depends on your success, so be successful.
Yeah.
I quit my job to move to LA to make sure that you're an actor at 7 because you know what you want at 7.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's disheartening because I feel like there have been so many protections that have been created for child actors. And now with social media and the way like family influencers work, it's like that centralization of at least there are some people looking to protect. It kind of takes that out.
Yeah. They'll make changes and like, right those wrongs.
I'm also like, I don't know that exploitation isn't exploitation just because you have an account for your kid making money doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like, there's a lot of saying like where it's like, well, it's a business and like we're preparing our kid because we have an account for them. But at the same time, it's like free will. Like if the kid doesn't want to film, does the kid not get to film?
Yeah.
Also, to be clear, like this story, I mean, her abuse was far beyond making her kids like record something they weren't in the mood to record. It was like real terrible, horrific.
Yeah, but seeing even the clip of like where she's trying to get the son to say like how happy he is about being renamed, but then she's screaming at the kids in the background and it's like, if you don't shut up, and it's just like the fact that you could rewatch this editing these videos and be like, I'm not a monster is crazy.
Most monsters don't
see themselves as
see themselves as monsters. So
the beautiful part of the story is that the dad, like the ending of it brought the dad and the family back together. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Did the dad, and this might be like a spoiler, but like, did the dad ever go against his wife, Ruby, at any point?
Where's the dad in all this?
He was essentially brainwashed. And like, if you when you watch it, like Jody, who is the religious person that radicalized Ruby, she like pushed him out of the picture and like made him feel like if you don't leave, then you're gonna ruin your family. So he basically made him isolate himself. He didn't talk to friends, family, anybody. The older 2 siblings got kicked out too. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Because
how is that not a weak man?
He didn't know any of it. Like
well,
when you watch it, he didn't know anything.
How do you
that
not
was
know?
him. Whenever she was like, "Get out of this room," he was like, "Come on, kids, your mom's trying to work," or something.
But like, how do you not know?
I think watch it before you judge it, because he even said like he regrets. Like one of his biggest regrets was when he left. He was the last line of defense for the children.
Yeah.
I hear you, and I'm sure he has regrets, and I hope at a minimum he has regrets. But he's weak.
He'll probably agree with you. Yeah, he was brainwashed by the situation.
That's a weak person, and like we all have regrets, and there's a lot of moments in our lives where we like reflect back and go, I could have said something, I should have stood up, I could have. I don't know, your own kids.
Yeah, there should have been someone there protecting
your kids. Are you fucking? I mean,
well, Dylan Efron thinks showers are overrated.
What is with hot? I've seen this before with super hot people. Friend Dean Uglert. Also, you may know him. Another very beautiful man. Sometimes you just look at Dean and go, "Wow, God really took more time on you." And I think Dean was I don't know. I haven't seen Dean in person in a while. So hot that like he would be like, "I don't shower much." And I don't know if it was like, are you trying to like be a little more grimy because you're so pretty, or like is it?
You think Dylan's trying to be like a little bit more grimy because he's so pretty?
I think it's
who doesn't want to shower every like it's.
He said he was like playing some little game and he was asked about something he finds overrated. And Dylan Efron said, I think people shower too much. We take way too many showers. I go in the pool a lot. Like there's chlorine. It's killing everything. We don't need to soap our bodies every time we're in the shower either.
First of all, there's a couple of flaws in that statement. He's opting for chlorine on his body than soap, as if soap is some sort of like unnecessary product to put on his skin.
Like, no, let's just douse myself in chemicals.
Like that's the go-to. Is he using soap in the pool, or is it again just he's relying on the chemicals? And like, what is so inconvenient about a hot, steamy, warm shower? No one's expecting you to go in there for 20 or 30 minutes. Just like rinse the fuck off and rub like, pit groin.
It's the difference between the people who think camping is fun and the people who don't. Like, I don't find anything fun sleeping on the dirt.
I think camping's
for
fun,
3
but
nights.
I love a shower.
I mean, he also did love all the bugs all over him and like touching all the bugs in Traitors.
He's a boy.
I was gonna say, have you seen his Instagram? Like, it's like some of the things where it's like, even if you wanted to picture the idea of it's like homeboys like on a ledge or like on in between mountains hanging off of like a rope, and it's just like.
Have Dylan and Rob from Love Island gotten together?
Have Dylan and Rob from? Oh no.
I feel like.
I thought you were talking about Boston Rob for a second.
Very, very beautiful people, like
catching
kind
snakes.
Of, really outdoorsy boys, like love to get in the mud, like
100%. That's what I said. Dylan needs like a girl that wants to like hike 10 miles to get proposed to. That could
so
never.
Pretty, but ironically don't like showers. I just got the pool.
I think the pretty and shower thing, I think my theory on this, and I do feel like this would be substantiated with science, is that if they do take a shower, they would be less hot. Maybe that's what's happening there.
To Nick's point, though, it's always like the people with clear, perfect skin that don't wash their face.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had Vanita on last week to kind of clear up some of the JT and her rumors. And then we have this episode of Southern Charm that came out where we see a little like moment that was described differently by the both of them. And Vanita took to her Instagram to say, let me make something very clear. And she kind of like calls out the editors for rearranging these like scenes and making it seem like she is a homewrecker, she says.
What did they rearrange?
She said that the dinner JT and I had after I made a Branzino was after the Bahamas, as y'all as an audience saw it before. So this week's episode is now making me look like I'm a homewrecker when I'm not. I know what I signed up for, but I also will not allow the world to think that I'm the woman that I'm when I'm not. Make sure you add this screenshot to all of the Reddit threads.
So like because that part where she goes up to his door and he's like, no camera. And he's like, wait, I have a girlfriend. She feels like the editing made it seem like she knew that. And she's like showing up to his hotel room
right.
like, in the middle of the night for like a.
And that's the story that she told us where she was like straddling him being like, you can't tell me you want this. You don't want this too. And he was like, no, I'm kind of seeing someone. And then the confirmation was that dinner, but they put it out of order to make, Vanita look.
JT's the worst.
Yeah.
That's so dirty.
He's so schmarmy.
He is the definition of schmarmy.
I don't even know what the definition is, but he is it.
It's JT in the dictionary.
Well, that's not JT's fault. That's the editors, where she's like, they clearly reordered.
No. Like editors, like especially since they rearranged scenes, like obviously they like what's the reason why, right? They have to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
But they told a story that didn't exist. That's where she's saying like
that happens all the time in reality TV, and sometimes they're not even that serious. Like on Special Forces when I was there, like they rearranged like when I got hypothermia and when I didn't. And me personally, I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense. The viewer doesn't give a shit. But like that was more like Bodhi's episode, and I think just storytelling around Bodhi and him going home. This is
about her being called a homewrecker, so it's a little bit more like
yeah. But for someone working in editing, they don't go fuck. Like it's all they're just editing.
Well, that's
you know
what I'm saying.
They're telling a story.
But it wasn't JT's fault this specific instance. She's like they painted it in a way that the storyline then said I was a homewrecker.
I think JT seems to have a little bit more pull, and like the fact that he said no cameras. I'm just saying it's not impossible that like he got his way and Venita didn't. Like why did they do that?
What was his way? Just not having cameras in the room?
Making it seem like, Venita is like telling this version of the story that he kind of hid the fact that he had a girlfriend from her and like leaned into this friendship / like situationship. Aren't they is something gonna happen? Like she had no idea. And then all of a sudden, like she shows up on camera. If he has a girlfriend, he's like immediately like, oh shit, clearly it gave to me. He's been like doing shit with Venita, like in a certain way, telling one version to his girlfriend, telling another version of producers and Venita. And like when she showed up like that, like, yeah, if this is how it was edited, it paints her in a shitty light where then he can go back to his girlfriend and been like, she just showed up at my fucking door,
It also looks weird too because it's like, then JT, after Venita comes to his door the night before, goes and has one talk with Madison and like books a flight and leaves. So it also kind of like gives the illusion that something might have happened in that hotel room for him to have to leave.
Well, I think he probably left because everyone fucking hates him.
That too.
And he was like, no. And remember, Sally was like, I am not getting on that fucking boat tomorrow if JT's there.
I'm just saying, if you're watching a show and your boyfriend has a girl that's interested in him come to the hotel door and then say no cameras and then goes into the door and that's the end of the scene, what does that insinuate?
That's true. I would have some questions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see also in an interview, Dolores said that Dorit was Sutton's Hannibal Lecter, which I don't get the Hannibal Lecter reference, but I'll read you what she said. So basically she said, Sutton, take several seats. You're not going to beat her. You're dealing with a different animal, Sutton, and it's out of your league. So you can be mad, but you better reel it in real fucking quick. Sutton, you're no match.
I kind of agree with Dolores here.
You think that Dorit is giving Hannibal Lecter level?
No, I don't. I mean, like I don't know about the analogy, but like it's just more like your kryptonite. You can't beat this person in this particular match. I understand. Like Dorit's going through a divorce. She kind of is like, what's the common phrase? Like, don't pick a fight with someone who has nothing to lose.
Yep.
And Dorit is giving like, I don't give a fuck anymore. My life's crumbling around me. Like my relationships are all in flux. Like fuck it. Playing nice and trying to be everyone's friend only got her bullied. From her cast. So like if you're Dorit, like who gives a fuck? And like when Dorit says things like, if I go down her level, I'll eviscerate her, like Dorit like believes in that because Dorit absolutely thinks Sutton has a drinking problem. And like, listen, I'm not an expert, but when Sutton goes on podcasts and start talking about like her like waking up at 10 and then like drinking throughout the day every day, like I don't know, that's giving, high consumption. And like, yeah, like she probably could go pretty fucking low. And I'm guessing if she does often show up and inebriated, there maybe have been moments that like, quite honestly, didn't make the cutting room floor and things like that. And I bet like Dorit is fully like stocked up on like insults she has chosen not to share, And I think it's one of those things where like Sutton doesn't recognize her problem, doesn't see her problem. And clearly it's a very triggering topic for her. And it seems like Sutton, Garcelle, and some of these other women on her cast just have been so used to getting away with like punching down Dorit. And it sure feels.
Do you not feel like Dorit is like constantly kind of like nagging at Sutton to like get a reaction?
Yeah, but
that's
like
very Hannibal Lecter.
I think there's a difference between like housewives bickering in a way and like which we love. We're really getting into the season. I think this season really has delivered. We're getting into some real personal shit that is triggering for these ladies, and it just seems like again Dorit's life is being exposed. Everyone like we're talking about her divorce. We're speculating on what PK's doing. Like it's a major storyline of the season. And Sutton refuses to even suggest anything about her. You know what I'm saying? Like the rules for Sutton, don't fucking go there. Don't do that. Meanwhile, Dorit's life is on full display. Dorit has nothing to lose. So if I get, it makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like, keep picking a fight with this person who really doesn't give a fuck. And yeah, she's poking the bear, but like, I don't know.
No, Dorit and Sutton have years of conflict to go off of. So I think that's kind of also what Dorit's saying too, is that it's like, don't force me to go to a place that we can't come back from. Because if I get there with you, and she's not making it any easier. So that's what I'm saying. Neither one of them are really trying to like bury the hatchet. So it's just like if it's one more dig after one more dig, one more failed event, then like, and I've never seen Dorit get as angry as she's gotten this season.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I actually am a little interested and scared to see what else could possibly be coming out of Dorit.
In her house with the gals over, talking about her son, like, you know, asking if her and dad are going to get a divorce. And whether it was a producer or Sutton came up with it on her own, Sutton like dismissed her and like didn't give a fuck. And like when Sutton is dismissive, she can be incredibly dismissive, and then she puts her down about her like finances and things like that.
Sutton's came out and said a producer told her to interrupt
because she was talking too long, and they were like, "We need to go. Like, we need to get in the van. We need to go to the next place." So she was told, like, "Can you like wrap her up?"
But of course, they would ask Sutton instead of asking Bose, you know, to like.
And but if that's the case, Sutton could easily just been like, "Hey, listen, I'm really sorry about that. That wasn't rude."
And
the
clip, she's literally like, "I'm sorry, we have to go." Like, "I'm sorry."
That's not that's a dismissive. "I'm sorry, fuck you, you don't matter." It wasn't like that. Hey, listen, I know what divorce is like. I mean, I don't know. Sutton seems like she's loved divorce. She,
or it could have been like, "Hey, like I really want to hear all about this in the van, but we have to like get on the road."
I imagine Dorit was on minute 30, and they were like, "Okay, like where's the chance to like segue?" And she's like, "We just gotta."
I do feel like Dorit talks a lot.
She's long-winded. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who think they're better than other people, and sometimes they are. But Sutton's "I'm better than you," a lot of it seems to come from her wealth. And her wealth isn't it doesn't come from her. And I think it's just a bit eye-rolly when your biggest flex is something that like you married into. And then when you put people down for like not being in that position, it's just kind of, okay.
She's definitely playing messy, and she's definitely like really dirty. And I would love to see the other women at least, they don't even have to stand up for Dorit, but they can at least just be like, Sutton, like that was way too far. Not cool.
It's interesting because like Garcelle, like, you know, really close with Sutton. Garcelle, I mean, you know, it's just a level of privilege with all these women. But like, you know, Garcelle has busted her ass, really worked up, built her own empire, really worked for this beach house, which is beautiful. And obviously, I'm sure very expensive. But like, it sure seems like Garcelle has to hustle in a way that Sutton doesn't. And it would be interesting to see. I'm curious how Garcelle felt about that comment, knowing that like she has to like hustle in ways that like Sutton, the way Sutton spoke, it was a shot at anyone. I feel like, I guess what I'm saying is Garcelle's financial situation might be more in line with Dorit's rather than Sutton's, and which is like probably like super privileged, but maybe not like making $500,000 a month.
Garcelle hates Dorit too, so I'm sure she was like, touche.
Yeah,
I think she hates Dorit, but she could hate Dorit and still feel like a certain way about like Sutton's comments. Sometimes your friends say something and like it's not meant towards you, but you're like, well, what do they think about me then?
I don't know. I'm just excited for Dorit's moment where she gets to say, "I'm gonna cut out Sutton's tongue and eat it with a nice Chianti," if she's Hannibal Lecter. Yep.
Can we get into some Love is Blind?
Love is Blind.
I stand by it.
So do I.
That's crazy.
I know. What do you?
When we were watching it, you were like, okay.
I think
don't switch up now.
No, I'm not switching up. I want to. Two things can be true at the same time.
Oh, here we go.
I don't think Lauren did anything wrong. To be clear, I don't think she did anything wrong in the court of like, I don't know, like she had the right to do whatever she wants. I do think also Dave scapegoated this situation in some ways. I think Dave scapegoated his family. I think he constantly blamed it on his sister. My sister this, my friends this, my sister this. When like a lot of times there were times where he was like kind of trying to tell Lauren the truth. You know, there was that time where he went to Lauren and said, well, if my family really wanted to come, they would show up for me. And then all of a sudden it was like, but like, they don't want to come. So like, okay, Dave, like clearly you told them not to come.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like, again, like when you find out, like Lauren finally admitted that she like had sex with this guy like a week before.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, a week, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, gay, straight, non-binary, trans. It doesn't matter. Like, I just think there's a difference between sex positivity and like fact that like sex has consequences, and you can pretend they don't have consequences all you want, but like all people feel a certain way about sex and it fucks with your feelings. And I think this is a classic case of just because your feelings got hurt doesn't mean the other person did anything wrong. You know, like I think Lauren feels judged, and I think she feels hurt by the situation. But like, listen, I think if anyone showed up for this this crazy experience. And like, keep in mind, these people are getting engaged and then they get married. And yes, they know what they signed up for. But like for any two people to join this experiment and end up in marriage, everything has to line up. Everything has to work out. Like you really are taking a huge leap of faith. And even when you say, I do, you know very little about someone. So like whether she did anything wrong or not, him finding this out is something that is going to really potentially rattle his cages. I wish he would just own it, say it with his chest, and just be like, listen, I don't know, like, I just wasn't expecting this. And like, I can't say I do with like this information.
See, that's the thing. He's not doing that. And he's blaming his friends and his sister of this, like, well, they keep bringing me like new rumors and they like don't want me to marry someone who had a boyfriend so recently. And my sister doesn't approve of this. And like my friends won't. And it's getting to the point
Weak
where
sauce.
It's like you are choosing to believe your friends over your fiance in a place where like at some point you have to say like, and clearly he just didn't want to do this because he just didn't want to marry her. But it's like he didn't even want to be like, okay, like I hear he couldn't go to his friends and be like, guys, like.
No, but like the reason, like, I think if you like using our Ask Nick language, but like it takes time to build an emotional connection. Like couples who like get through shit or like adversity of any kind, it's because there's a foundation. There's like a rapport there. These people don't have any of that. Right? They don't have a foundation of trust. They haven't been through anything together. So like Lauren did what she did. She had the right to do whatever she wanted, but like, you know, but that's the point is this other guy, maybe he's a clout chaser, say whatever you want about him, but like clearly he felt a certain way about Lauren. And when she got out of the bubble, like reached out to her being like, hey, are you with someone? Are you not someone? He wanted to keep it going. He liked her. He felt a certain way about her. So for her to be like, it's meaningless, it's nothing, maybe to her, but like she made choices, she got herself in a situation. Sex has consequences, whether you like it or not, whether you're positive about sex or not, like it affects people's feelings. And like he handled it poorly. And I think he's kind of weak sauce for like blaming his sister and blaming his family. But I still don't fault him for like not being able to just dismiss all his friends or like, I think he was weak about it, but like marriage, I think it would be foolish for anyone in his shoes to say, I do to someone who was just like, oh yeah, by the way, I did have a hookup after you got engaged to like details of the story came out after his friends brought this up.
Well, it's his problem. It's his fault for not asking more questions in the pods because he did say like, how long ago were you with someone? And she told him. And if he didn't want to ask more questions and get more out of her, he wanted to like wait until his friends filled his ears with stuff. That's his own problem.
It's not about fault. Like, again, this is not like he didn't want to marry her. Like, that's not a crime.
That's clear.
Fine. But like, I think for anyone to act like, and I don't care if it's a man, woman, I don't care about your sexuality. Like people hooking up, like people have a certain feeling about it. It's one of the most intimate connections two people can have.
But then it clearly like wasn't that big of a thing because later on when they all meet up at this like party and Molly talks to him and she's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why did you do this? Why didn't you do that? And he goes back to talk to Lauren and is kind of like, I want to try things with you. Like
yeah, I mean, listen again, it's
so how is it such a big problem before and now it's not?
To quote Gabby, they always come back.
Yeah.
They always do.
Listen, I'm not saying like Dave is right. I'm just saying my feelings about Lauren's choices, like,
is it possible that he just wants to have his cake and eat it too? That like he doesn't want to get married to the girl, but he does actually really like her and have feelings for her. So he's freaked out about the marriage. So he made it about this thing, but actually would like to date her outside in real life.
I think it has nothing. I think it has nothing to do with your take. I think your take is your take because it's you and it's who you are. I think Dave's take is because he didn't want to marry her. And I think he's going to listen to this and I think he's going to use everything you say at the reunion. Like, I don't think he's thinking this way at fucking all. I don't think it's really bothering him. I just think he was trying to get out of this marriage.
And I think he tried to get on a show. He promised his sister he would never take it this far and he never thought he would get that far. Now that he is that far, he's panicking because everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing?
They're currently engaged and he's telling his sister like, yeah, we're not together. It's broken off.
And that's just because it's Dave or because you don't think there's any way that You guys are making, well, if he really loved her, he would marry her. It's just like he barely knows her.
But we're not saying that at all. We're saying that if it was just about the sex or the fact that she hooked up with somebody right before this, nothing that Molly should have been able to say should have made him be like, you know what, maybe I made a mistake and I should retry this relationship. Like that's
the facts are still the facts. She still slept with him no matter what Molly said to him.
But now you just don't have to get married to her in a week.
You're right. You have that is. If he really liked her and like this was fucking him up and he was like, listen, I just can't marry you in 2 weeks with this going in my head, but I do really like you. And like, I don't really care about the sex. It's just like this really, I don't know, threw me off because it wasn't what I Yes, he didn't do that. He did not handle it well at all. I think I'm making this point just because it's like, clearly we're looking at these genders. And I think if it was flipped around, it would be, like, you remember, you don't, but I don't know. Did you watch Hannah Brown's season?
Yeah.
You remember Jed?
Yeah,
at the end of the season, and he had like the girlfriend and the girl waiting by the decks, and I don't know if they were hooking up or not, but like his version is it wasn't that serious, and her version was it was. It was exactly the same flipped around, and Bachelor Nation crucified him, lost their shit. How dare him? How dare he have some blah 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 this thing? And he was just like, he had this girl, he was hooked. I don't know what was going on. Now she's married to Hannah Brown's brother. Still, I forget about that. That's the best part. But like there was some sort of history going on there. And like he went on a show, forgot she existed. You know, when you're in the outside world, she's like, I guess in 6 weeks. And then like he found himself engaged in a relationship, kind of unexpected, didn't handle it that well. And then like was crucified for it. And now it's the exact same situation, but reversed, different show. And like, all I'm saying, it's like, you have either have a problem with it or you don't.
I don't.
So you didn't have a problem with Jed?
No, I had a problem with Windmill Guy.
Peter.
Whichever one that was like super precious about the idea of her like sleeping with somebody else, and she was like,
that was
the blonde guy.
Yeah,
like that was the only villain. Yeah, but that was the only one.
But at the time, you thought Jed was being treated unfairly.
Oh, I can't put myself back there. I did not care about Jed. All I cared about was like when she was literally like, "How dare you? Like Jesus loves me no matter if I've slept with somebody or not."
That was a much bigger storyline.
But that's kind of the same thing. He was pretty much like, my wife isn't going to be a promiscuous type person, and she was like,
completely different situation.
Okay.
that was like you have to wait before marriage. This is not like
thank you, Luke Powell.
This is not like just debating the semantics of like a hookup partner and then going on a love competition show. And that's all. That's what this conversation is about, and that's what the whole Jed and Hannah situation was. The idea, it's just like, I don't know. He probably didn't expect to fall in love with Hannah. Maybe didn't even expect to get cast on the show, and was foolish and like sloppy with the fact that he was hanging out with this girl and trying to have his cake and eat it too, and like enjoying this girl's company, and then went on a show and didn't know what the show, like when I went on the show the first time when I was at work and everyone's like, are you going to fall in love? And I rolled my eyes like, of course not. I'm just doing a show. And then like, obviously I got caught up in the whole moment. Like it's a bizarre, crazy fucking world. And I didn't think Lauren expected to fall in love, and I don't know what Dave expected either, and I don't fault Lauren. I'm just saying, like, listen, she could have been a little more careful, and she could have been a little bit more prepared to, like, go on a show that she watched as a fan and saw all the other storylines and things like that, and she didn't, and whatever. That's fine. No big deal. But, like, again, it has consequences, and, like, the fact that we know what Dave thinks and know, it's just because he handled it poorly. I just think, all
I could think about is him in that trench coat when he was sitting outside
that
after.
pop collar.
And his collar was straight up, and he looked like not to roast him. I was like, the posture, the collar, I was like, nobody fixed that.
Nobody fixed that.
I think my biggest issue with Dave was that he was kind of trying to make Lauren break up with him.
Oh, he definitely was. And Dave was very much like that.
And that's where I was like, nah, if you want to break up with her, break up with her.
What did you think about Madison coming in with her pink hair and talking shit about Alex?
She is the most toxic person in the
That
world.
was a crazy scene. She comes in guns a-blazing.
That's the pink hair?
Forget about the pink hair, whatever. People dye their hair, whatever.
Meg.
I thought the hair looked good.
Yeah. Let's not shame people who want to get a little fun with their hair.
I had pink hair too.
I had that exact hair.
She comes in immediately throwing shots. Immediately is like, yeah, well, Meg was texting Alex before she even knew, like, we could have been engaged, and she had no idea, and she was already up in his DMs.
She's dangerous. She's out there like not and throwing just below like serious accusations of like he's a piece of shit and blah blah blah, and like making up like throwing out accusations about like what he said about Mason, all because like she didn't get picked.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. Her being like, he said fuck Mason. I don't believe that for a second. Like Alex doesn't not look like the person who would say, that's his like best friend from the show.
Yeah.
Like, no, fuck Mason.
The funny thing is she said all of this and then the conversations went nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
She said all that, and then it immediately cut to Mason and Alex being like, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Besties.
like nice fuck boys you present as the good guys who aren't. I mean, no one's more like triggered by those types of people, but like Alex is not that guy. Alex is literally just the.
No, it's Dave.
Dave isn't. Dave's just
kind of lame.
Dave is a guy who thinks he's funny. He's not funny.
Well, yeah. But also, yeah, I don't think
He's not
Alex
even
is
that-
that guy. And Madison is trying so hard. Like, I feel like the reunion is going to be so messy because she's going to come in and be insane.
I was like,
can't
I'm
wait.
surprised that she didn't go as mental on the Meg and Mason showing up together too. Because I'm like, I feel like that should have been like, you did everything to sabotage that relationship and they still ended up together and I end up with no one.
That's why she was trying to talk shit about Meg, like trying to reach out to Alex because it's like, that's her trying again to like ruin that relationship with Mason.
Mary, I know your dad's a pastor.
Oh my God.
Does he ever video it in?
What does that mean?
like phone.
Well,
No.
like Zoom
I'm
it?
not. Listen, your religion is your religion. I grew up Catholic, so and listen, my religion has its flaws. We are aware of my religion's flaws, but like Justin grew up Catholic.
Oh, are you talking about Ben?
Yeah.
Yes.
The video audio.
And then,
Okay,
like,
so
and
there's
then-
a
and then- and
there
then-
is a during COVID there was a live stream version of church that like people can watch. My dad would never show up on a Zoom screen instead of going to church.
Natalie and I went home to Savannah a couple
That's-
years ago with Natalie, and it was like I don't know, it was some baptism, I don't know, something.
niece's
She took
baptism.
me to a service. It was a Christian, lovely people there. Very commercialized. Yes, there was a band on stage, very much like this. Then there was a big screen, and then they pressed play. And there was a sermon. And I'm sorry. Like, listen,
I'm
and
not-
maybe this is the
yeah.
Catholic in me, but like if my pastor's showing up in a hoodie and True Religion jeans and he's on a video screen.
What can this man
I'm
tell me
not-
about God that I
I'm
don't
not-
already know?
Yes, I'm not at church.
Yes.
Like,
No, my
couldn't
dad.
I just go to a Starbucks and be like, what do you think about Jesus Christ?
I completely agree. My dad. So like my dad's a Lutheran pastor. The type of Lutheran that he is a very like Lutheranism is probably the closest to Catholicism, just
Yeah, it's
without
right
the.
there, yeah.
It's just like way more like chill. But it's still very like the liturgy is classic. It's like you're lighting like the candles. People will dress like he's wearing the robe.
Okay.
He is not, or he has a suit. Like he is.
He's
he
at
takes it
least
serious.
wearing
He went to seminary for 4 years.
He's
like
not wearing Jordans.
At least give me a golf polo.
Yeah.
Like,
khakis and a golf polo.
like, and that's his. If he will do that occasionally on like a very casual thing, but he's usually wearing a robe over it.
I really did think the zoom in was just a Southern thing. I've seen that like honestly all over the churches in the South, and it is like
how is
it'll
that
be
even
like a big
church?
pastor from Texas, and he's like preaching to this small church.
It's giving
in,
mega church.
You know, yeah.
Yeah,
You couldn't even be there?
yeah.
Like,
If I was Sarah,
That's hard.
yeah.
It's hard.
But that's just me.
The own pastor couldn't even show up.
he's bringing his girlfriend to like his big thing, like I'm a follower of Christ.
That's
and then
true.
he brings her to and it's like
The big reveal was like
the
not
big reveal,
even-
a guy in a hoodie
It was
on
like
a
a
TV
PowerPoint.
screen.
When I saw that, it truly sent a chill up my spine. I
Like,
will say.
huh?
I respect her though. She's like, you know what? I'll be there like for the holidays, for the special events, but like, I don't know if this is for me.
I'm not mocking your religion. I am mocking anyone who like the people who are too fucking lazy to show up and look nice and talk about their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If you look like you just like got a coupon from the Gap, I don't need you talking to me about like.
I like Gap.
I will say
Back
it
in
was.
fashion.
But for your pastor,
Sure.
I will say it was kind of fucked up for them to give the men the
Bachelor party?
what was the bachelor
They went
party?
to the
Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah,
the
Vikings.
Vikings, and the women was like
Mall of
everyone
America.
dressed up like old people. Like
yeah.
They always do this.
They always do. Yeah, the
They have the
girls
worst.
with the lamest bachelorette parties.
it's like
They have the
men
worst
get to go to a
bachelor.
game and like
And we get pop-up tents for our grown asses to sit in a
and wigs and canes. Like thanks.
That's
I
more fun to
guess.
me though.
But do you remember last season when it was like the weird like tent pop-ups in a circle and it's like, do you expect grown-ass women to
Yeah.
sleep in those?
Yeah,
It was
they
the
always
sleepover,
they
right?
need to up that.
I hated the prenup conversation between Devin and Virginia.
He signed it though.
No, he did, but it made it seem so like dark and kind of icky about it. I don't have a problem with Virginia Askren at all. I wish, listen, like if you want to make a relationship of any kind work, especially a marriage, it's about like Nail and I don't know what each other is going to do 2 years from now. Like one day I could wake up and just stop giving a shit. I could stop like waking up every day and making like my wife and my kid and my family a top priority. People do that all the fucking time. And like to make a relationship work, it goes way further than just saying I do and like reciting a bunch of promises the day you get married. You like every day kind of have to almost internally renew your vows to yourself and your partner and show up for them. And a lot of people stop showing up. And like, if you have something to lose, especially marrying someone you don't really know, you have like Devin, and like, I don't fault him because I get where he's coming from, but I wish it was articulated in a way that it's like, well, what am I supposed to say to my family when they ask? Like, no one plans to get divorced.
Right.
You know, but like no one plans for their partner to like become a different person or lose interest or like have like a weird like middle-aged kind of like
midlife crisis
or whatever, or like, you know, some past trauma from their life like sneaks up on them that they haven't resolved. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But like
it's like health insurance. You're not required to have it, but like it's nice to know that if something were to happen, I'm looking at a copay versus looking at a full price receipt.
And 50 years ago, people literally didn't get divorced. You were like ostracized from your community if you got divorced. So you just like muscled through life.
Miserable.
Like miserable and just had a secret life. Now you don't have to do that. So if you believe in divorce, and I'm assuming Devin in Virginia, and I don't mean believe because everyone's like, I'm never going to get divorced, but like,
it exists.
But like, don't say it's not a possibility if like you're not like somehow legally not allowed to do it. You know, like clearly it's an option. It's not an option you want to consider. You want to do everything in your power to avoid that, for sure, of course. But like,
let's not be delusional that that's not a possibility in the realms of reality.
It only is invoked if the unforeseeable happens.
Exactly.
That is literally what it's all about. And the way that's framed is if like she's going into this planning on getting a divorce. No, she is doing this because she's like, if you fucking change, motherfucker, if you do some shit that I don't know about. What's last season? Ashley came in here and rode for her guy, her husband, and like rode for him and all these other rumors out there about kids, and we still didn't even know the truth, and she told everyone to shut the fuck up, and I know my man, and now all of a sudden they're getting fucking divorced. And I don't know if there's a prenup, but like, she trusted someone that clearly she realized that maybe she shouldn't have trusted him as much as she should have. We want to believe in people, but like this whole idea that like it is like a negative for Virginia to ask for this when like she's a little bit more established than Devin. I don't know.
I do think that it's kind of crazy that she's even being villainized for it, because I feel like all of these couples that are planning on moving forward with marriage, you should have a prenup in place, because you only have known this person for 30 days.
She's the only one with a brain in this cast in Virginia.
It's just you get married on TV.
Yeah, like when the cameras go away and it's just the two of us, are you the same person that I fell in love with in the pods? Are you the same person that was in this experiment knowing that you were filmed 24/7?
Monica's sister, like for like 30 seconds, I was like, oh, she came around. I was a little too harsh on her. And then it was like, no, she still is so fucking bitter. She absolutely hates this.
Oh, she was biting her tongue so hard, but she tried.
She liked him.
She tried. No.
At the end, it was just more like, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
You seem cool.
But then like she's still like passive digs, and
having her take the photos, the engagement photos, like, and then having that conversation was iconic though.
It was better than the photo shoot that Daniel and Taylor had. That was brutal.
They seem cute though. I'm actually rooting for them. They seem really good for each other.
I like them together too.
Who do we think is going to work out? Who says I do?
I think Taylor and Daniel say I do.
I don't think they do.
Really? I do not think.
I think if she does, she's leaving him in 5 years for someone taller.
She's gonna find out that he was the one that followed her.
I hope
this
not.
is all speculation. I have no clue.
I'm actually rooting for them.
I haven't heard anything in the pipeline.
I think Sarah and Ben will say yes.
I do too.
Okay, yeah. I think Monica and Joey, and I think Taylor and Daniel. Or no, Virginia and Devin. But I don't think the other two.
Monica and Joey don't end up together.
I'm not sold on Virginia.
In the teaser,
and
there's like a clip of her being like, right before like.
I feel like we have to cut that spoiler alert.
It's not a spoil. It's in the teaser. You see her like hesitate before saying "I do," and I'm like,
but that could be
just like an edit.
It could, but I'm believing it.
Justin, you were such a sucker.
Yeah,
such a sucker.
I was like, did you not watch Hometowns at Bachelor? I was like, all the things that I was waiting for did not happen.
True.
So what are our final predictions? Who says yes then?
Devin and Virginia, Sarah and Ben. You guys think Taylor and Daniel?
Monica.
Monica Joey.
Monica Joey. Honestly, like, is that all of them? Like,
yeah.
Like, okay.
I think Devin and Virginia will.
I want one person to leave the altar.
Sarah definitely. Sarah
and Ben?
Ben, they definitely don't. She says.
I don't think they do either.
I don't think
the sisters were preying on her downfall.
I don't think Taylor and Daniel will. I do think Monica and Joey will, and I do think Virginia and Devin will.
I have a hard time seeing Taylor and Daniel. I feel like she's gonna say no.
You think so?
There's a clip of a blonde woman crying walking back to the car after being on the aisle.
So it's
that has to be her, right?
But there's Sarah.
Well, it could be Sarah, but like in my head, it's Taylor.
I mean, Sarah's got a lot going against their relationship too.
I don't know. Well, we will find out soon enough. Up next, Taylor Green. Time goes by so fast, the months have been flying by, but no matter how fast time seems to be flying, it's never too late to make progress. This is where Kickoff can help. If you're saving up for a big purchase like a new house or a car, or you need to build credit fast, look no further than Kickoff, the #1 credit building app in the App Store, where plans start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest.
Life can be rough sometimes. Maybe you lost a job, have unexpected expenses, or just got behind on bills, leaving you in a tough credit spot. But if your credit is under 600, you can jump 28 points in just your first month. Kickoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch, no credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. It's simple. You make your on-time payments, credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows fast. Start building credit immediately for only $1 your first month. With AutoPay, you never have to worry about missing a payment, so you can build credit in your sleep. Sign up in minutes from your phone, no credit check, and you can cancel anytime.
We all know what it's like to have missed a payment, and that can really tank your credit. So let the good people at Kickoff get that score back up where it needs to be to make some of the biggest purchases of your life. Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kickoff. Don't wait. Get your first month for just $1 at getkickoff.com/VIALL. That's getkickoff without the C. Get 80% off at GetKickoff. That's KIKOFF.com/VIALL. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/VIALL to activate the offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only, subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary. As a new dad, it can be really hard to cram in time for a workout with going back and forth from the office to meetings to spending time with my family, and it can seem impossible at times to see results. You want the maximum benefit in the time that you have, and that's exactly what Tonal was built for. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move. It's an absolute fantastic machine. I've used it several different times. What's really great about it is that it takes up no space in whatever room you want to put it in your house. You really can get a full body workout.
Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching just like a personal trainer. With new drop sets, Tonal 2 analyzes your movement, senses when you're fatiguing, and will drop weight until your muscles are maxed out, an experience you can only get at a gym until now. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code VIALL. That's Tonal.com, and use promo code VIALL for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal, TONAL.com, promo code VIALL for $200 off.
Well, Taylor, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming
back.
Good
to be back.
Yeah.
We're so happy to have you. This has been such a fun season.
Oh.
Good for us. It was kind of a slow start. I think it's getting a little bit more.
When we first started watching your show, I hope the rest of the cast is okay with me saying, I don't mean your show, but the show that you're on.
It's Craig's show.
It's Craig's show.
Craig's show. It kind of is the guy's show. I mean, even Miss Patricia says that. She's like, it really is a guy's show. The girls are replaceable. I was like, we were kind of like, oh my God. Thanks.
This
so that
season,
was nice.
That was the first time where it's kind of shifting a bit because the guys are not really bringing it and the women are. But this show and Vanderpump really was kind of centralized around 3 or 4 guys that are consistently creating chaos.
I call them low character people.
There you go.
I honestly, the only reason I came back this year was to fix things with the women of the group. So I really don't care what's going on with the guys.
How do you feel like that's going?
We are all in a really good place. Obviously, it's very unfortunate that Olivia is not back this season. I was really upset about that, honestly. But she had reached out to me. And so we got to talk a little bit. Obviously, I've kept in touch with her just based on the her being engaged, and she's doing some fun stuff with a YouTube channel. And obviously her brother's birthday was just this past February, so I reached out. We stay in touch like that, which is really nice.
You're not what you used to be.
No, I don't think that she's in Charlotte now, I think.
No, she moved.
Does
she still not believe you?
I have no idea, but her reaching out to me and that text message, she just seemed to be like, let's let bygones be bygones. I am here for you as a friend. And she actually was reaching out, kind of warning me about a certain newcomer. So who? Yeah, I think y'all know.
Sally?
Yeah.
So Olivia had previously known Sally?
She doesn't know her, but she is from the same town. So she was like, I just want you to know I've heard a lot of things about this person. I don't know her personally, but just beware. And I was like, I appreciate
She
you.
has an interesting reality TV track record as someone who almost went on The Bachelor and then almost went on Bachelor in Paradise and
now is on it was an
on
interesting
Southern
run.
Charm. And
do you feel like where you and Sally are today is better than when you were filming, or are you kind of like, I'm not investing in that relationship?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to invest in that relationship. I think that, to be completely honest, the first time I actually officially met her was on camera.
At her little gathering?
No, this was, it didn't air, but we don't get to see it. But it was we had a little girls' night. And a lot of this stuff that we did with the women of the group, you don't get to see much of it. And that was what was really important for me and why I was returning. It felt like this newcomer came in and leveraged my fractured relationship with these girls to one up herself and then keep me in the fire and be like, oh, and by the way, she's not only a shitty friend, but she's dating this horrible guy. And it was just one thing after another that she was just trying
that guy we're talking about. Okay.
He's horrible.
He's in the room, Gaston. Handsome guy.
He's in the room with his really cute niece on top of his lap.
Yeah, very cute niece.
So did you, I guess, whenever you heard that Sally was joining the show, were you aware of her previous fling with your boyfriend Gaston?
I was. Okay. Yeah, I had known of her just because I had my friends say that she was talking about me at Republic. And, I was like, wait, who is this? And I said, oh, the girl that's hooking up with Joe. And amongst a few other people on that cast. And so I was like, I don't know this person. I obviously had known that there was a past fling there, but she had every intention of coming on this season to drag his name. And she did just that. So that was really fun to deal with after she had already told me, hey, I have no ill will towards you or Gaston. I'm glad that you're happy. And because I had just heard things in the rumor mill that she was coming on to do just that. And so I confronted her about it before we started filming. And lo and behold, it was everything that.
What did she say when you confronted her?
Oh, she said, I have no ill will towards you guys. I'm happy for you and Gaston. And my only one thing that I have against you is that you said something nasty about me around town. And that was I was like, I did. I don't know you. And that was the hooker comment. And I was like, I've never called anyone a hooker. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's what?
It's on 1995.
It just doesn't sound like
dated. You're such a hooker.
It's vintage of you.
Yeah, it's very vintage of me.
It's slut.
Yeah, it's a slut now. No,
So was that just a rumor that she heard that you said or something?
I mean, she came out with another one at reunion, and it was pretty horrible. I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, you called me a hooker and that I got ink banged, and I was like, what? I was like, where are you hearing? I was like, I don't talk about you. I don't. I mean, here I'm talking about it right now, but I don't talk about you. I've never used the word hooker or
wait. So those are horrible things. She
accuses you of saying something like that.
I think that she just says things to rile me up. So
that is a weird thing to platform a rumor about yourself.
Yeah. I think it's a part of her manipulation tactic. That's my depiction of it.
Yeah. So I feel like we saw
I was like,
how many?
I don't know. I should ask her.
That is crazy.
I was like,
I feel like we saw y'all had this conversation. You heard she was going to be on the show. Off camera, you kind of meet up and you're like, or was this on camera?
This was off camera. It was before we started filming.
Okay.
Yeah. I messaged her.
And she was like, I wish nothing but the best for you two. And then on camera, she switches up and starts talking a lot of shit about Gaston, talking some shit about you, saying Nick's the thing he hates the most that people say is nobody here likes you or what.
Some version of when people tell other, people about you, when Sally said to you about you're a bad friend.
To trust you.
I was told not to trust you. It's who are they? When people bring up they as some group of people. Who? You know, like everyone says that about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, huh? Like, I fucking hate that.
I know, I do. I like to see, I'm like, who? So like, show me the proof of this. And again, that's just where it was like, she was leveraging my fractured friendships to drag myself, my relationship. Like, it was really unfortunate because I had worked so hard to get to a better place coming into this season after everything that went down last season on the show and in my personal life. And this person over here, Gaston, has been like a huge part in my healing process and my healing journey. And so to have someone come in and just like try to absolutely tear that down, like with everything inside of her, was really tough to navigate. And I tried to just like let it go, but it's hard when they're constantly.
You also want to protect the people that you love. And like, I definitely turn into like a huge bitch and a very like mama bear energy if someone tries to come for Nick, especially like in front of my face. So I honestly respect you so much for like keeping the peace as much as you did. I mean, to sit there, like to have the whole like JT bring up this whole like Sally, like
what was that rumor again?
It was like
that was the worst.
I mean,
well, I had no. He was like he was going down. I know he was over here like.
What? Who did say about me?
JT.
That little man's funny. I think he said something. I don't watch it, but he said something along the lines of like that I had an affair with Sally with my past relationship, which is just a funny way of saying things.
Right.
But it was an ex-girlfriend. It didn't happen. And they just kind of like, and it backfired on him because then Sally turned on him. And it's like, dude, just stay in your lane. Like you got enough to worry about with Vanita and what you got going on. Like
that's true.
Just relax.
That's true.
Where do you stand with JT? He's smarmy.
We're not. I don't respect him at all.
Right.
I mean, I just think that he's trying to grab at something and he's doing it in a really dirty way.
Yeah, like really doing Vanita dirty.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, doing all the women dirty, it feels like.
Yeah. It's like he didn't show up a lot this year. All last year preached, stand up, be a man, like own whatever you have. And he would just run away. Like he would run away and I'm speaking the truth. And I was like, well, you're doing it. You're not speaking the truth. First of all, you're grasping at something. And that's what I feel like a lot of people, not a lot, but some people on that cast are just wanting so badly to be relevant. I think he's one of those people.
What do you make of the relationship between JT and Vanita, like seeing how it played out on camera versus like in real life?
I was completely like, I had no idea that was a thing. I just thought that they were good friends. It wasn't until afterwards or after we had wrapped filming that they had kind of, I guess, tried some things out or like went on a couple dates and here and there. And then when I heard that, I was like, I need to talk to B about this. Like, what's going on?
Did you know he had a girlfriend?
No, nobody knew. And then he talked about it on camera and we were like, wait, you have a girlfriend? And
like, was he acting like he had a girlfriend or was his behavior?
He never really talked about her. And
like, if you were his girlfriend, how would you feel about his behavior?
I would tell him to go kick rocks. Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you're trying to do it for the show or not. Like, that's not, you don't do that.
Is this mysterious woman spoken out?
I mean, apparently called Vanita a homewrecker or rat. Yeah.
Yeah. It was right when the trailer dropped. Like, she kind of, and
I
I don't know that, I mean, we kind of know her. My friend like works with her at a gym. I think Lara works with her at a gym, but I don't really know the girl, so I haven't really been able to.
Well, JT seems like he's good at playing both sides.
Yeah,
so I'm sure he's
good at that.
Giving
We'll be just fine.
Or some versions.
I mean, I'm sure and I do see like the frustration on his end because it's like, you know, we weren't in that room. We know that there's editing, but like Craig swears by a lot of things that JT says, and then we don't have any of that proof.
Yeah.
And Shep is also like corroborating, like, I didn't hear any of that. So where do you land on the whole like Patricia's a bitch and Madison like wanted, or Brett thought Madison and I were having an affair?
I think that Craig can embellish. I mean, he can embellish the truth.
What does that mean?
I think that like he hears one thing and he just wants to go with it. So he's like, let's like up the ante a little bit. Let's
make it a little bit more interesting and say it was bitch.
Well, where do you cross line between
right.
just lying? I mean, what's the difference between embellishing the truth and like making up a story? Like Sally, like the gangbang accusation sounds like
where did that start?
Yeah.
Now it escalated to this.
Is he doing stuff like that, or
I mean,
is he embellishing the breakup?
I honestly don't. we talked about that at reunion to exhaustion. I think everyone on the couch was pretty much asleep.
What's your take?
Again, just kind of stay out of it. My only take on that is that when Paige was asking him to say something about the cheating rumors, he doesn't owe her that. I don't think he owes her that. She broke up with him and he doesn't owe her. He didn't start the rumor.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's not on me. I didn't go around starting this rumor that you cheated on me. Like, why do I have to stand up? Yeah. When you broke my heart, I had a ring for you. And now I'm having to go, oh, she didn't cheat on me. He was like, no, you broke my heart and I don't owe that to you. So like a breakup is a breakup. You kind of part ways and you don't owe each other anything anymore.
Kind of going off of that last season, obviously there was the season premiere. You had said to Craig, like, well, what about your girl cheating on you? Were there rumors just circulating around Charleston about that? Or like, where did that come from?
That rumor, and it was very early on in their relationship. Allegedly, this is all alleged. I do still regret saying that. It was just a rumor that was going around BravoCon.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was just like, and people were chatting about it. And so I repeated the rumor in that moment. And I'm the type of person where if I don't like to repeat rumors unless I have facts and proof.
Right.
So I was like, I was hurt in that moment. I apologize for saying it. I didn't. I take it back. But again, still just a rumor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sienna going
lie or
all the TikToks she's posting, like trying to like expose the truth about her time on the show and her relationship with Shep?
I think I saw one. It was like part one.
I haven't kept up with
there were
a lot of parts.
The trilogy of her lives or whatever they are. Yeah, I think I saw part one again. I wasn't paying attention to that whole situation, and maybe I should have a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I was only on that trip to be with the girls. Like I was really just, we had this ball rolling and I was like, let's keep it going. Like I feel really good with the women and I just want to keep it there. I don't care about what's going on or like Sienna and Shep and whatever. So, but looking back at it all, I'm like, I look kind of stupid because from my experience with him, I'm going, this is your fault. Like you're the one probably ruining this relationship. And in reality is like the other way around. I was like, oh, I look kind of stupid. It makes me look like I'm jealous or something. I was like, no, I'm like, I could be the furthest thing from jealous in this moment. Truly.
Understandably.
It's just you not knowing the like details of it and just assuming of like who you know Shep to be.
What did you make of sorry for talking about her ex in front of her boyfriend. What did you make of kind of Shep's behavior in the sense that like it seemed a little out of pocket for him to kind of melt the way he did and act that way? Or it was this, do you think, a product of just like a guy for the first time like not getting what he wanted and the way that he wanted it and that he was more uncomfortable with that versus like this is not the Shep that we seem to have gotten to know, this kind of nothing serious, whatever, everything's a joke, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden he's talking about freckles and like their love. And it's just like to the point where it's just like, whoa, you're getting a little creepy, Shep.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's weird watching that and being like, this is not what I'm used to. Like, he doesn't take life seriously. And so that's where I'm going, you're not taking life seriously. And this girl probably is trying to take life seriously. And you put her in this little bubble and that's not like you're confining her to this space and like that there's much more to this person. But yeah, to actually see him like breaking down, I think it is like Shep got Shep. So
Shep got Shep.
Do you think this experience, do you think it was real or do you think any part of it was him just like leaning in for the sake of the show?
I'll give Shep that. What you see is what you get.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think this experience will teach him anything?
It's a good question. Maybe. You can.
Because he definitely.
You might be able to teach old dog new tricks. I don't know.
Maybe.
Listen, we all need vulnerable moments. We all need to feel embarrassed or be embarrassed, humbled at times. Shep's is on television. I'm not trying to like shit on him, but like that was a bad beat for him. Like he really was just like, oh God, shit.
Yeah, he took it.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if he'll learn.
I think at the end of the day, he'll be just fine. He kind of.
Sure.
I feel like guys in general do this. They like turn their emotions off and they just kind of keep going with life. And so I think that's probably just what he'll do.
Would you support him and Molly or are you kind of like I don't want Molly to get involved with that.
No, I love Molly. And as you guys got to meet her a little bit, she's like somebody I naturally gravitated towards just because she is very cool, calm, collected. She's not like in the drama.
Yeah.
She's also someone like what you see is what you get. I mean, I don't know. I would never encourage someone to be with the person that I was with, but I don't know where Shep is today. I mean, I hope that he's like growing into his own and becoming, I guess, figuring out life a little bit more.
It's not your place to.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I'm not going to sit there and be like,
you're not going to be like, you can't date my ex.
Yeah.
You're
no,
not going to
I'm
like
not
girl
going to
code
be
it.
that person. I'm very happy in my relationship. So I'm like,
what's
Go
the
ahead.
future of you being on the show look like? Because, you know, you mentioned you just kind of came back for the women. It feels like whatever you accomplished, maybe that job is done. Obviously, with Shep being your ex, like clearly there is a challenge, and rightfully so, of like navigating being part of this group, and then like obviously, you know, like the ex storyline. But I'm guessing it's more of a thing than you wish it would be. Like, how do you see your future with the show?
And
going?
also having someone like Sally who wants to
be you
attack your current relationship. Like, is it worth going through that again?
I mean, obviously, like knowing more of what I know now, it's very frustrating. I don't like to put myself in those situations, but yeah, it's a great question because I just do want to have that time and moment with Olivia, which I have. It's obviously not on camera, but that's what the viewer wants, and I don't think that I'll be getting that moment. And that's the only reason that I came back was to like end on a good note and be able to move past everything.
So you think you might be done?
I don't know.
Would you jump ship to Southern Hospitality?
That would make more sense because I do actually hang out with those people. Those are people I've known for a very long time, even before they started Southern Hospitality. You know, I knew TJ and Brad and Emmy and Will and all of them. So it would make more sense, but I have not been
talk to me about TJ.
Yeah.
He seems real toxic to me.
He likes to stir a pot.
Gaston was his roommate for a year and a half.
A year and a half?
A year and a half, yeah.
I didn't say he has no redeeming qualities.
Yeah,
I love
no,
TJ.
I can see how that, like, you know, people are like, oh, he's a pot stirrer. And I think that he is the type of person who does bring facts to the table. And he will, like, if he's going to say something, he's going to have a reason as to why he said it or back it up. And I mean, I'll always try to have his back.
I was a little uncomfy with the whole Joe conversation.
It was. That was a very uncomfortable conversation.
Was he blacked out or was he not blacked out? And if he's blacked out, I'm like, what are we talking about here?
That was really tough for me as a friend to watch that because seeing TJ get very emotional, like he's just not an emotional person. And I think that it was just maybe downplayed. Like that whole situation was downplayed a little bit. So he's getting emotional about it. And it's a very, like, how do you navigate a conversation like that? It can be very uncomfortable. So. But I think that there will be more answers to that at their reunion.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you stand by him.
I'll stand by him always.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you super close with Emmy and Will as well? Because your name got brought up last episode with TJ and Emmy having a little confrontation.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, wait.
Did I say that?
Well, I did. But yeah, no, I've known Emmy and Will. I know Emmy better just because when we started to get to know each other, we were actually in London with Will and Emmy 2 years ago. And it was right before season 1 was about to air. And I said, just to let you know, y'all's relationship is going to be under fire. Y'all are going to get painted out to be this cute little couple, the fun couple that works together. I said, but in due time, it will happen.
Yep.
And I was like, y'all just have to be prepared. You know, don't do anything stupid. But of course, like their whole situation, I think that Emmy could have handled it better. But I think that she just was in defense mode. Like what she had been through, going, you know, being in long distance relationship. He's in law school. He's under a lot of stress. So she's just trying to protect him in that relationship because they made it. Like they got through the first year, and it felt like everyone was trying to come in and attack her. In reality, they're just going, we're just checking in on you. Mm-hmm. So she saw the attack, not the concern.
With the rumors like flying around about Will for multiple seasons at this point, like what do you make of it as somebody who also has been in a relationship and probably have heard rumors and whatnot outside of it? Do you believe like where there's smoke, there's fire? Or do you think that there's a group of lawyers that are bullying Will?
I don't know about that, about a group of lawyers bullying, but
I do.
I don't.
I mean, I don't know. Well, guess I went to law school, or were there a bunch of bullies in law school? I don't know.
Well, bullies might be a strong word, but I just feel like people in law school would
I
might
can see
tease,
it's competitive.
or also being on a reality TV show, depending on who you ask, is a door for people to criticize you, depending on your community. Yeah, I think that's reality
true.
TV stars have
risen up.
We have leveled up in terms of our credibility, but I still
together.
think we're punching bags for people sometimes to oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't take you very seriously. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, back to my question: do you think that there's some do you think that Emmy's doing the right thing by saying no to these rumors, or do you think Emmy should be addressing the rumors and not getting defensive?
I think there could have been a conversation. Instead of just and there might have been, it just wasn't seen, but to just come in and say, no, it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. To the viewer, to people listening, they're going, you're just saying no. Did you have a conversation?
Right.
And, so yeah, I think that I'm sure there was, but it needs just have a conversation. Where are these rumors coming from and why? And then, okay, let's put it aside.
I mean, I do think it is hard because it's Austin's ex-girlfriend who could be his current girlfriend's brother's sister's friend heard and it's okay. Are Emmy and Will at the reunion?
Will doesn't show up.
Yeah, Will's not. He's in the back room, but Emmy's the only one.
But it's
on.
He was there.
Why?
He was there.
Show up?
Why didn't he?
They teased it as Andy Cohen saying, "Well, Will's not here, so he's not on the show anymore."
No, he was at the studio, but he was not on stage.
Interesting.
So I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning for that would be. I didn't even ask.
Maybe the bully lawyers got him. And he just
holding him in the back in the locker.
Giving him a swirly. This year of Southern hospitality has been it's been good.
It's so good.
It's been entertaining.
I think you jump ship. I think you join Southern hospitality.
I don't know if I want to join the dark side.
What else have you been doing in your life? You watching anything fun?
We just started watching SEAL Team. SEAL Team. AJ Buckley actually lives in Charleston. He and his wife and their 3 kids. So we've met them. We watched his kid do a little band thing at Windjammer, and so that's been really fun. But then obviously White Lotus.
Yep.
Been loving that one.
We've only watched 2 episodes.
3rd episode came out last night.
Okay, well, okay.
Get on it.
Yeah. You also have your brand.
Good.
I know.
Reset
You've got my
I really like the sweatshirt.
I love it.
In terms of swag gifts that we get, it's a nice little oversize.
I love that. Yeah, thank you.
Not too thick. It's a nice medium sweat.
Yeah,
like
I know. I've got this is our Simone set. So I've been very busy.
Set.
Yeah, the Simone. This is named after Simone Biles.
That's my middle name.
It is.
Yeah, so I'm named after her.
Okay. Yeah, actually, we named after you. Thank you. But yeah, so we've been very busy with that. We've got some pop-ups coming up in Baltimore. My business partner's in Baltimore, and I'm in Charleston, obviously. So it's kind of nice being in 2 different places on the East Coast that are in between, the Florida Keys, Miami area, and then New York, and yeah. So it's been really fun. It's kept me busy, and I know we'll see where it goes.
Well, now you have to come back next season so we can at least promote the brand.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. TJ's got his Sir Wieners. It's been doing really well.
Really?
Yeah. I know. Well, I'm gonna have to tell him to send you guys some swag because
Sir
it's
Wieners?
fun.
Yeah, his hot dog cart.
His hot dog cart. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of hot dogs? All beef?
Yes. I think might be a bratwurst. Remember the bratwurst one? I think it's called the worst one is the bratwurst, but
does he have a kielbasa?
No. He could get a little fancy with the meats, but there's a one with peanut butter on it.
Oh
so
my God.
all the
Nick
hot
would
dogs
hate
they're named after some of the cast members, and the one with peanut butter on it is Emmy. Emmy is
he working the stand? Is he behind there, slinging the dogs?
Yep.
Junk.
But Emmy licked peanut butter off of someone's junk.
Yeah, so that's where that one came from.
Who did?
Emmy.
I think it's in season 1 that they talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't know.
So, but that one's the best one. That's the best hot dog. The one with something like that.
Never licked balls
the
before?
PB wiener time.
Wouldn't you prefer there to be peanut butter?
And that one's the best one.
You'd rather have no peanut butter?
With peanut butter on it. It's so good.
With a pretzel roll?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So next time you're in Charleston, come to Lamar's. We'll get Leva to hook us up, and we'll get TJ to hook us up with a wiener tower.
Next time,
I definitely don't need extra things in my mouth when I'm trying to do a BJ. I don't need to
I'm not thinking you're like pausing, like, can I get some peanut butter? But like, I'm just saying, if peanut butter was there.
No, that's just extra things I have to like. Peanut butter is so sticky. You know how long that's in your mouth for? Like you're like,
yeah, it's like a dog.
Constantly. Like it's like that's you're giving me too much work right now.
No choke or something. Yeah.
Why was there peanut butter? Is this a dare? Was it a dare?
I have no. I think I asked her about it and forgot what she said. I think she was like, we were just being stupid. It was like in college or something silly.
Do we see like marriage with Gaston or
Nyla? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has been dating?
A year and a half.
Oh wow!
Oh
yeah.
Congrats.
That must get so annoying though, even like bringing up Shep, just because in TV time, like it's just it feels like you guys like just broke up. You've been dating someone else for a year and a half.
Yeah,
like,
and we were broken up for over a year before I even started dating him.
Wait, you haven't been dating Shep for 2.5 years?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know people are like, she moved on so far. I was like, it was over a year that I was single.
Yeah,
and then I met
crazy.
him, and well, I guess we've already known each other, but
I was gonna say
reconnected.
I always, because I give reality TV stars, especially in the Bravo sphere, like so much credit because it's like you do go through such a dramatic summer, maybe 3 months or whatever, and then you have a year to forget about it, recover, and then all of a sudden it's like airing now. Let's go through your trauma.
Back,
yeah, exactly.
And people think it happened last week. Like, this was a year ago. This all happened a year ago.
But like, how does it feel to prepare for a reunion like that? Because it's like, you're going to be asked questions in a way that's like as if this happened yesterday, but you're like going off of emotions that you're trying to replay by rewatching.
Right.
Like, how does the reunion go down in a sense? Because I feel like it's so passionate too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard when you're, I guess, in it. Like if you're still trying to recover from it or whatever, it can be very emotional. But I think this year I was so just over it, and like I'm in such a better and more healthier place that I just was like, bring it on. I was like, go ahead. This is all dumb. It's all done and said with. So
have you ever skipped episodes or like
I fast forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this is boring. It's like the Austin and Craig of it all.
Literally,
like, oh my gosh, y'all are fighting over a stupid podcast.
Are they really fighting?
I think so. I don't think they're doing the podcast anymore. I don't.
Yeah, but
we tried listening to it one time on the way home from one of the trips, like a few years ago, and we're in the car. It was like me and Vanita, and I think maybe someone else. And I was like, why are we listening to their stupid voices? Like, we just had to listen to them all weekend.
What was
just
the show
like,
about?
yap. And now we're
Pillows and Beer because Craig makes pillows.
Yeah. No, I understand the name. Yeah. What was it about though?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Just like their
I mean, like I'll give it. There's some things that are funny and goofy, but I don't know. They're like
their last episode was January 6th with Spencer Pratt.
Oh, of this year?
Of this year, January 6th.
Okay. Well, maybe they're still doing it.
It's March 3rd.
All right.
No, so they
clearly break.
They brought it back after their fake cancellation.
There is some speculation about Sally and Craig. Obviously, they were like seen at Nobu or something in New York, like, and then I took it as like, oh, it's two coworkers in the same place. And then she went on Watch What Happens Live and was asked about it and played really coy and was kind of like, we had a chaperone. Like,
I feel like that's so Sally.
It definitely is. It definitely is very Sally coded.
To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure she's like dating someone. So
yeah, okay. And
so it's giving JT.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that. I said you just wait. I was like, you think JT's bad?
Do we find out at the reunion whether or not JT has left the show officially since he announced it like 5 months ago?
You will. I don't know.
Can this fire him?
You will see an appearance, but I was like, he better show up because you think I wanted to show up last year,
right?
Like after everything that was going on, I wanted to crawl into a hole. I was like, you just answered to the questions, like just say you're sorry and let's move forward from this. But he does. He shows up, and I can't remember if he gave an explanation to that or not. Okay. I think he did, but
I thought that was for
next
really, season.
Like, quit mid-season while it's like before it airs or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this must be for the next season.
I was like,
right?
I haven't looked at my my contract, but I'm pretty sure you can't just like quit
and then show up to the reunion.
Yeah, and then show up to the reunion. So I'm not sure
every time
exactly
it comes
how
out,
that
like,
went down.
Why are you even here? How did he end up on the show? Who was he friends with?
Craig and Austin?
I think he just kind of knew like he like knows them in the crowd, but that was why he was so adamant about like being my friend, was because he was
He just strikes me as the guy who you meet and he's like, I'll pick you up at the airport. And he kind of weasels himself into the friend group because he's kind of like, I'll do that. And he does a bunch of favors. And you're like, yeah, he seems harmless enough. And then all of a sudden, you know, this guy who really doesn't belong starts fucking running his mouth. And
that is essentially what happened. Like I thought, and of course I'm like, yeah, new friends. Like, oh my gosh, he's so funny. He's like so easy to be around. And a few months in, he was like, oh yeah, I'm interviewing for the show. And I was like, oh, awesome. Like, that's so exciting. And looking back at it all, I'm going, oh, he was just trying to befriend so that he could have like a storyline. And I mean, that's kind of, yeah. I think it reads.
Always be wary of the new friend you meet who starts offering you a bunch of favors.
What was your reaction to seeing Shep, of all people, have a comment on Gaston's appearance?
You're kind of hot.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I mean, especially if we're putting the two side by side, it's
thank you.
Jarring.
We don't have to.
No, but he wanted to shit on Gaston.
Oh, 100%. No, I thought it was very middle school. Mm-hmm. I was like, are we in high school? Like when Sally and Madison and Paige were sitting there just like gossiping and like talking. I wanted to like jump through the screen. And by the way, that day that they went to go film at Craig's, because I had canceled my birthday party because I was grieving my dead brother on this huge like monumental birthday, 30. I'm like, I want to be with my family and my boyfriend and my friends and people who, the only people on that cast that reached out to me on my birthday were Rod, Leva, Vanita, and Molly, of course. But yeah, nobody was like, hey, you know, happy birthday. Hope you're doing well. I know this is a big. And everyone there knew why I canceled my party. It had nothing to do with him telling me to cancel it. I told Leva that I can't do cameras. Mm-hmm. I need to be with people that know and love me and genuinely care about me. And then to see what was going on behind the scenes of somebody trash talking my relationship and my person on the day of my birthday that I canceled because I'm grieving my dead brother, I was just like, that was low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, Madison, you're going to talk about, like, you talked about JT's looks. Like, you're talking about, like, what are you, the mean girl?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just, I was like, I have no respect. And Leva did. So she's like, that whole day I was going around being like, she canceled her party because she's grieving. Like, she doesn't want to be around cameras.
Yeah.
And everyone knew that. And they still decided to talk about me and my relationship, which was awesome.
Sounds like some people needed a storyline.
Yep.
Well, you know,
retweet.
TV. Are you watching Traitors at all?
No, and I want to see it because I heard that Tom Sandoval is just cringy as ever.
He's great television. He is great television.
Singing, and then Gabby.
Oh, Gabby
is hilarious. Yeah. So I'm like, I need to watch.
Tom is pretty hilarious.
These two.
Tom is great television.
He is.
But I mean, Gabby is also made for television, and she
ate last episode. You know.
Yeah, she is.
She's funny.
Yeah, I think she definitely.
She's just like quirky and funny. Speaking of Tom being entertaining, it was that week that I was here last that you guys had him on your podcast before me, I think, and you're like, get ready for that one. And that was wild. I was so excited to listen to that episode.
We've been talking about getting him back on, but we'll see if
Nick gives you a platform to be able to give your side of the story, and Natalie, and you guys were really like, we're helping you. We're trying here, Tom. We're trying to help you out here. And he just was like, you know, and you're like, we're really trying here.
We do try.
We hope to have him back on. Anything else we want to plug or promote?
Reset Athletic. Go find us.
Yeah.
I know. We actually have a more like a men's hoodie.
But this is the woman's?
Well, no, we had that color like for the men. And then he was wearing it one time and I was like, I don't know. They're like, I like it, but I was like, it's just, we need a more like a men's needs to be because it's more long fitted. So
I like this one.
Okay.
So.
I'm glad you like it. But yeah, we'll get y'all some more gear and stuff. But
Taylor, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Always fun chatting with you. Wishing you the best of luck and maybe Southern hospitality.
We'll see what's in the cards.
I feel like that's a safer space for you. You know, like.
What role do you play on that show? Because I don't feel like you're going to be working. I hope you're. Like,
no,
I feel like
no.
Like I don't.
Leva actually just opened up a new daiquiri spot.
Okay.
Zachary's Daiquiris. So that's going to be like the spot for the summer. I can't wait. She has a little store in the back of it that she wants to get some athletic sets in there with her prints on them.
Cute.
So we're gonna see if that works or whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to be working. You can just be like there.
Grace Lily. She's not working, but she's on that show.
That's true. That's true.
She just shows up to sing in Vegas.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Now that girl is made for TV.
Yeah.
I tell her, I was like, I'm obsessed with you. She's hilarious.
The way I just say it in my head, it's wavy, baby. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
I know.
But I'll say it.
I mean, I catch myself saying it too. I'm like, who am I?
Who am I?
Oh, it's always good to chat with you, Taylor.
Yes, you guys too.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I have been raving about my Skims bra and underwears since I got them. My entire top drawer is filled with the most amazing, stretchy, and supportive fabrics that keep me feeling comfortable and confident all day long. Intimates are the most important foundation of every outfit, and trust me when I say that everyone who has tried Skims has been obsessed. A few of my favorite items that they have are the Fits Everybody dipped front thong. The Fits Everybody boar short is actually what I wore my entire postpartum after I got out of diapers. It was the most comfortable. It made me feel like a human again. I was able to put on underwear. Everything is just so comfortable. The Fits Everybody collection is so flattering and comfortable, and you'll forget that you're wearing it, which is the best part. There's nothing worse than like having a bra that's stabbing you. And honestly, right now I'm wearing a Skims and it feels like I'm wearing nothing. Shop Skims best intimates, including the Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com and Skims stores. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows.
Taylor's so sweet. I don't know why does she not. She always seems to have a hard time fitting with her cast of Southern Charm.
I don't.
She really hates Sally.
Yeah, I mean, I would too after everything Sally's done, you know.
All right, it's Hometowns, it's Bachelor. You know what I realized?
What did you realize?
Because last week I thought I said they were like they cut one episode out. Was this the 6th episode of the season?
I believe so.
Episode 6.
When I was back on the show back in the day, Hometowns was week 9. They're 3 episodes shorter, which makes, I mean, it's like how are we at Hometowns? How is Zoe at a hometown when she doesn't even have a day? But that's not Zoe's fault. Like, it's just like, that's the format of the show. Like, it was like all of a sudden we started getting some drama with Carolina. And then that should have been a 2-on-1. But like, man, they really
the chemistry between Zoe and Grant is the hardest thing to watch. There's absolutely nothing there. I mean, that date was brutal.
I mean, they didn't spend any time together, and she's introducing.
I guess just like the photo shoot, everything was just like so hard to watch. Like neither of them looked like they really were like into each other.
And I wish we did some like different type of theme for the photo shoot too, because it feels very forced. Telling. Where it's like, okay, now we're gonna have the photo of you proposing in case we do this. We already have it.
Yeah.
He also didn't say "I love you" or "I'm falling in love with you" to Zoe.
No.
It was just the "I feel confident."
He also didn't give
confident
her
to send you home next week.
Yeah, literally.
Well, again, I mean, if they're gonna cut out 3 episodes, don't take 4 people to Hometowns. If you don't have enough episodes to tell at least 4 different stories of a relationship we should give a fuck about, and maybe change the format. But week 6,
the fact that he's saying right now I like Zoe a lot at Hometowns is a wild statement to say.
And yet she didn't get eliminated. She's top 3, and I called it right before it happened. I'm like, Dina's going home. He had to send her home. As soon as her family doesn't show up, she's gone.
Yeah.
It's just and I really feel for Dina. And I say this as someone who also has 10 brothers and sisters like she does. She didn't specify religion, but I'm assuming she's Catholic. She referred to her dad being an ordained deacon, which if you're Catholic, that's basically a deacon is someone who's super religious, devout, thought about being a priest, but still wanted a family. And deacons can get married and have kids, and they have certain abilities at a church service to, give us a homily. That's the sermon or whatever. They're not a priest. They can't turn the bread and the wine into the body and the blood of Christ or whatever.
Eucharist.
The Eucharist. If you're Catholic, you know what I'm talking about. But it's giving Catholic, listen, I'm really disappointed in her parents. How old is she? She's late 20s, she's a lawyer, right?
She's a lawyer from Chicago.
Listen, Nana and I, the way we look at it, we have 18 years. We have 18 years to raise our kids and teach them character and morals and values and lessons in life. And then, when they're adults, it's up to them to live their lives. And obviously River isn't gonna, we don't expect or want River to be a 20-year-old and need our permission to do life. I hope she asks for advice. I hope she checks in with us. She'll do things that might disappoint us. we might not have chose for her, but that's part of life. And like, you got to show up for your kids, you know? And like, I get that her parents don't love this, that she's doing this. I you know, they don't have to love it to show up for your kid. But the moment you decided for your daughter to like ruin her experience because, you know, you didn't approve, like, I don't know. It's just show up for your kid. You don't have to like it. Show up for your kids. You can even when you show up, you can be honest. You can be, you know, no one's saying show up and pretend to like it. We love the parents on this show who don't act like fans and show up and like give a little like caution to their kids and the people and like are just real people. Be that version. Like, don't just like not like they left their kid on an island and like painted themselves and their family in a light of like, if you don't do what we agree with, we're not going to support you. And like just and like I don't know, being super religious isn't like an excuse. Like, I don't this is not you're against religion to go on TV.
Do we know it's about the religion part?
No, but she like referenced, you know, my family's very conservative,
and traditional, and she was saying how like this isn't, you know, they don't approve of the fact that like you're dating 25 other women. So I think it definitely had to do with like that.
But she showed up for a show. She went on the show. She's already on the show. So clearly they didn't love that. But again, like, she's not gonna, as a almost 30-year-old.
She's 31, yeah.
As a 31-year-old woman, your kids aren't gonna do exactly what you want them to do. You're gonna abandon them. You're just gonna not show up. You're just gonna be like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
No one from her family. Like, not even one of her siblings was like, I'll be there for her.
Yeah, that's tough.
And he had to send her home, you know, because like clearly, like if your family is not gonna like they're so against this, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable like proposing or moving forward with a relationship. Like she absolutely had to go.
Can they meet off camera? Has that never happened where like a family meets with?
I met Rachel Lindsay's dad off camera.
Yeah.
That was, you know, he's a federal judge. Her whole family was there. I met her mom on camera. Her, you know, like, yeah, that's huge. That's hugely different than her whole family just being like, no, we want nothing to do with her. And I did meet her dad, and I had a real good conversation with him. As a federal judge, he wasn't comfortable being on camera, but that has to do with his like job and, you know, whatever that's all about. But like, he very much was there. We were never filmed speaking. He was not part of the show. He wasn't on camera.
But you had a good conversation
I
with
had
him.
a great, real conversation with him afterwards because like, obviously he didn't know I wasn't going to, you know, like he showed up for his daughter, you know?
Yeah, so that could have happened in Dina's situation.
Yeah, it's just like, I really felt for her.
Was it Melissa Rycroft who her family didn't want to participate and then she ended up winning the season?
It's way before my
On Jason
time.
Mesnick's season?
Who?
All right, well.
OG
You're
day
way
one.
too much of a fan.
I'm sad Dina went home though. I
right.
had the biggest crush on her.
I definitely thought she was gonna go farther than Zoe. So that was
the
shocking
fact
to
that
me.
Zoe is in top 3 and like she has never really even had I mean, this was her first one-on-one and it's like they have no chemistry.
Zero.
Well, it made it easy to figure out who he can't decide between.
Yes, we know who his top 2 is, and I don't think Latia is his.
Juliana's my number one.
She's the number 1, right?
That's what I think she's gonna win.
You changed your mind?
No,
she's always been Team Latia.
I'm Team Latia till I die.
Juliana's runner-up.
No, I think.
I think Juliana's gonna take it.
I think the religion part is.
But her family was like, we don't
wonderful.
care. You, as long as you're like a man of God, which he is, he says faith is important to him.
Maybe.
They're like, that's all we care. They're like, you don't have to be a Mormon to be in our family.
Latia looks like, I said this to Natalie, like, first of all, what a great round of hometown dates. And just in terms of New York City, Chicago, Wyoming, this beautiful landscape horseback ride.
Massachusetts. Was Juliana's.
Juliana, like, whatever. I mean, whatever. Massachusetts. Lovely family. Lovely family. Latia looks like a creature who like just like came out of the woods on a horse.
She looks like a siren.
Yeah.
Not the creature.
and I meant that in the the best
like
possible
a mythical creature.
Yeah. Mythical, beautiful creature where you're just like, who did this like thing come out of the...
She looks like she's created by AI.
Yeah.
She does.
She really does.
Do we think that there was like some form of drama with one of the two, like as to like why they would shelf Bachelorette this season, or do you think it's just timing?
the fact that Hometowns is in week 6 and not week 9, budget cuts. Like you have, I think, we've heard all this drama and turmoil going on internally at the Bachelor franchise. Like, I don't know how Grant's season has been doing ratings wise. I don't even know how to measure ratings these days with network television when it comes to like who's watching it live versus streaming and yada yada. It's like +7 yada yada. But clearly, like it's not performing how it used to perform. They have more and more competition. Like every time a love competition show like Love is Blind or Love Island pops off, like doesn't even matter if it's not being aired at the same time. It's just like you're losing out to some competition. Yeah. It's just like with the it's hard to watch Love Island and then come back to like the very vanilla format that is The Bachelor. And like The Bachelor is one of the most, between them and Survivor, like no one will ever replicate what the Bachelor franchise has done in terms of longevity and legacy. And just, there's something about being a bachelorette or a bachelor that like supersedes like just being one of many, on Love is Blind or Love Island or whatever. But like, they're not keeping up. Yeah. They're not. And maybe the network element of it all matters. It will be really interesting to see what Paradise looks like this summer. Do they make meaningful changes? Are those changes seen as cool, unique, different, something that's game changing? Or does it look like a copycat version of other shows like Love Island that have worked and like when
they did Casa Amor?
Yeah, but they're still limited to the problem with this franchise is just like we've experienced with some of the ladies that we've interviewed. There clearly was this like wanting to become an influencer, famous, and like there's been a lot of very successful people who've come out of Bachelor Nation and have done very well for themselves and made a meaningful, at least temporary career from what they've been able to do. And it's network television. It's very safe. It's very kind of vanilla. Everyone's very not wanting to ruffle feathers. Villains are villainized for doing literally nothing on the show, like interrupting whatever, versus like the shit and drama we get from Love Island or, even like the stakes of Love is Blind or, all the, Bravo, just the way they get into it. And, compared to that, like the Bachelor franchise in general has like really like has had a hard time keeping up. And so like, will cast members go on to Paradise and be good television, or are they still going to be like very careful what they say and very careful what they do and not want to ruffle anyone's feathers? Because that's what it is now. It's just everyone's just afraid to make TV in hopes that they're the, because that's how it used to be. Like if you were like the least problematic person who got who went the furthest, you would pop and you would become like this person with a big following and blah, blah, blah. But like the world's different now,
Yeah. I need the girl that was like scallop fingers. Like I need like sound bites and personalities back that like dressed up as a shark for their first day to show up to Paradise. Being silly, no?
I mean, I need something.
I need something.
I need something different. I need some real fights. I need some real drama. Speaking of, so wait, I'm gonna say Juliana is gonna be my winner.
That's who I think too.
I'm standing by Latia.
I think at the last minute he really likes Latia.
I can see why he's so torn in the like preview where he's like, oh. I can see why.
I feel like he really got like the dad's consent with Juliana. I feel like he either way he gets what he wants. He's going to be a part of a big family.
Do you think he sleeps with anyone?
Do you think he sleeps with anyone?
Speaking of double standards, though, back to Hannah Brown's. Like here you have Latia, also religious. Less granted, her delivery much different than Luke Parker's back in the day, but nevertheless, the premise still is the same, which is if you sleep with someone else, I'm not going to pick you. I won't be here. Like you can have sex with someone else, but I will be leaving if you do. And like that was different wording, but exactly what Luke Parker did. And he was the biggest villain in the world for it.
I mean, Maddie Pruitt did it too. It's definitely
Maddie Pruitt. And where do you stand? Do you have a problem with Latia setting this boundary
Not at all,
for Grant?
Luke was talking about his standard for his future wife, saying that like she should never have been intimate. Where I'm like, this is where I'm like, per her religion, let alone that like she's been on this journey with all of these 20 women, I wouldn't be able to get over that either. If he slept with somebody before he came on the show as The Bachelor, I don't give two fucks. But like, yeah, if you slept with somebody that
and then you're going to propose to me,
yeah, I'm probably going to say no.
Luke Parker got crucified for.
Who's Luke Parker?
The guy who Hannah Brown.
There's Luke Pell or Jed.
Luke Pell was a different guy.
Luke Parker.
Luke Pell is the guy who's going to be Bachelor over Nick.
Luke Parker is maybe the best villain of all time. It's what made.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's the windmill, the one who got upset with Hannah for sleeping with Peter.
Oh, I thought his last name was Pell.
No, Luke Pell is the guy who should have been the Bachelor when I was the Bachelor, and then he was on JoJo's season.
Okay.
Different guy. Luke Parker is the guy who was this amazing villain in Hannah Brown's season.
I remember.
He was a huge douchebag, and there's a lot of reasons to hate the guy.
Yeah.
And his whole, his opening scene was like, he was basically like, I fucked a lot in college, and then I like met Jesus Christ, and all of a sudden, like, I'm not a douchebag anymore. And then
they don't listen. They don't make television like that anymore.
And it was like, wait, you
they
got
don't
all
cast
your
them like that
it's
anymore.
like you got all your fucking out of the way, and now you're gonna tell Hannah Brown she can't have sex with people?
Yeah.
Like, his delivery was terrible, and he seemed like a worse type of guy, but. Either way, like his delivery was basically like he thought he was the winner. He thought he was like he was the front runner. She really liked him, and then all of a sudden he was like, "I'm not going to be comfortable with you having sex," and that is exactly what Latia is saying to Grant.
And I think that's their prerogative.
I get it.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't want the guy that's going to propose to me having slept with 2 girls the night before.
It usually happens.
Happy bachelor party.
It usually happens.
Anyways, so this week on Summerhouse, we have Jesse and Lexi kind of talking about their relationship. You have Jesse asking Lexi if, I can't say this serious with a straight face, but you have Jesse asking Lexi, hey, so next weekend, do you want to share a bed, like share a room together, be roommates? And she's like, no, for sure. I just want to make sure that we're like on the same page, that like we're like only seeing each other, like working towards that. And then he was like, whoa, I think we're moving too fast.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of one of those, like I had to pause it being like the double standard here where you're the one trying to play house for the weekend because you're trying to get laid for the full weekend. The second she's like, just making sure you're not doing it with anybody else.
That is you're making my Love is Blind point.
Okay, we're back.
God.
I'm just saying, but like I agree with you, but like welcome to 2025 where like sex is like, I mean, we're just talking about sex. And people like are like no biggie when they're like, do you want to fuck tonight?
But she's putting her expectations up front.
Yeah.
And Dave and Lauren did not have that.
I'm talking about the conversation and how we as society like approach sex. And Jesse is approaching sex just like, I guess, in some ways similar to Lauren, which is like, hey, we're just fucking. We're just having some sex. And like all of a sudden, and then Lexi's like, well, hey, hold on. Like, sure, maybe, I don't know, I fuck, it's 2025, like, I'm cool. But, like, if we do, I want to set some, like, upfront expectations. And Jesse's like, whoa, hold on. Because Jesse's, like, assuming that we can all take our clothes off, exchange fluids, and, like, that's not a big fucking deal.
I hate
But, like, if you want to start talking about feelings, holy shit.
Then, yeah, pump the brakes. No, I agree with that.
And that's my whole point on Love is Blind. But I
think it's different context. But
what about when they were sitting in the living room and Jesse had his hand all the way up her shirt, just in public? Did anybody notice that?
Just cupping a boob.
I mean, that's the difference between like if you're 6'5" and she thinks you're hot versus not.
Actually,
what was going on with the whole Kyle rage texting page?
Okay, so I guess Hannah had done some interview or something stating that the reason why she thinks she got fired from Summerhouse was because she posted for a competitor of Loverboy. And then Craig obviously signed a deal with Spritz Society, so he's now advertising for a different seltzer. So he said he's honestly beyond discouraged with Craig too that this topic, or that this wouldn't be a topic today if it wasn't for him, and about a dozen lies. I can't believe this is where Hannah is at 3 years later. I'm fucking apeshit. So he's just pissed that like 2 people in her life are now promoting 2 opposing seltzer companies. But at the same time, it's like for Paige, she's like, what the fuck?
Why is that
that's none of my fucking business. She responds being like, fuck you. What have you ever supported a single thing I've done? Have you ever said anything about my podcast? Have you ever said anything about my book? I drank your drink for 7 fucking years. I come to your dumbass fucking events and I only came here tonight so someone keeps your wife company while you pretend to be fucking Diplo. She ate. But it's true. It's like, Kyle, I guess, has had like a monopoly over the beverage that is being shown on Summerhouse. And you'll notice that when you look at the mess of the kitchen, it's always going to be Loverboy cans that we're toasting with, that we're cheersing with, that are left all over. So he's, for some reason, feels like he's entitled to come to Paige because her boyfriend and her best friend are doing other things in their career that she has no responsibility
revolve
over.
around
What does
Kyle.
he think that Paige is doing wrong?
I guess supporting her friends, supporting other business ventures that don't support Kyle.
Why does she need to support Kyle, period?
But even then, she's at the rooftop here for your DJ set that I'm sure she has 500 other things she could be doing right now. I don't know where Kyle got the nerve, but I think Paige handled it absolutely 100% correctly because she's like, message them.
I mean, I wonder what she said actually to Kyle. I hope that it was this exact.
Oh, I mean, it looks like we're about to see that too, because the teaser was something where he calls her two-faced, and she's like, "You calling me fucking two-faced, Kyle?" Like coming back down the stairs.
What do we think of the new guy? Who's the new guy?
Emerald?
The guy who's like having sex with 2.5 people in a night.
What does that even mean?
2.5 people?
Well, that's what he said.
No, when he said it, I was like, and then Kyle's like, "No, this is a New Yorker through and through," and I was like, I couldn't hang.
I'm guessing he's the one who's like in this threesome that apparently happens.
I think he has to be.
But I just wonder
we know it's one of the new guys. So him.
Well, and he mentioned a swing, and he's saying how sex parties aren't as fun as you think they would be. Where I'm like, I don't know who sold you that they would be fun, because that sounds like my nightmare.
How do you get invited to a sex party? Who do you have to know?
I think you have to be a certain caliber of person for somebody to walk up to, be like, "Hey,
yeah,
you seem like you would enjoy this."
But is it like a secret invite? Do you know anyone who's been to one?
I don't know anybody that's been to one, but I've definitely seen like blind items about them where it's like you have to have a password. And
but how do you? Where does that conversation even start?
I don't know. And I'm actually very happy that I don't. I could try.
You're not remotely curious? Not to go, but like, doesn't
not
that?
At all.
I just want to know how someone like got recruited.
Not at all. And as I said, I'm very happy I don't fit the mold of invites for.
Do you just like hang a pineapple outside of your door and hope for the best?
I guess so. Come to my dungeon party, like post yourself in a mask and a thong and see what happens. I don't know.
Is anyone sad to see Tom Sandoval go other than me on Traitors? It was a pretty good exit.
He had a great run.
I think
it was coming to an end.
He's redeemed himself.
In his self-aware kind of sign off goodbye.
I would love to see him do an interview, though, to be completely honest, because I'm just curious as to like how his brain works post feeling like he's been validated and that people can hear him and listen to him and that his words have meaning.
Well, you know what to expect from Tom. He's fine.
And Gabby absolutely ate at the round table.
Finally, Danielle had some competition.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll hire her for my lawyer.
She said, now can I speak?
Yeah. I'm not done yet.
And then what did she say? She said, I'm not saying I'm dumb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When she was like, I think that you're like not as.
Oh, I think you're really smart. Well, I'm not saying
yeah,
I'm dumb.
I think you're really smart.
She's like, I'm not saying I'm dumb.
No one ever said that.
And let me continue. I'm excited. We ended with a cliffhanger.
So a lot's going to happen next episode because like next episode's the last episode.
We find out if Brittany voted for Danielle or Ivor.
What do we think?
Well, you have Danielle out there on social media teasing that she's safe, like telling her fans not to worry. Now, I don't know if that's her just being a really shitty contestant who's spoiling it for the fans. It would have been amazing television for Brittany to vote for Danielle. I hope Brittany is amazing television.
The way that she said that she thought she saw Dolores kind of give her an eye and shake her head or like saying that she was voting for Danielle. That's why I think she's voting for Danielle. And I think this would also be kind of interesting because didn't she like double cross Danielle on the last show that they were at? So it's like her thinking that she's siding with like group mentality and still ends up double crossing her would be good television for me.
If Brittany doesn't vote for Danielle, she's obviously a traitor. Brittany.
That too.
So it's like she has to save herself.
But then we find out whoever this like seer is and like whoever got the most points, which I feel like is Danielle because she got the like 2,000 points here. Everyone else kind of lost points. She did the whole gold thing. Like, I think she's got to be the seer. And if she goes home, then maybe they would just pass it down to the next person with the most. But
we'll see. Well, we do have Carolyn up next to give us a little bit more insider tea and all the things that went down in the castle. It was a chaotic interview, obviously, with Carolyn coming in and then me having to leave 10 minutes later. But we were able to cross paths. I got to meet her in person. She, like we said at the top of the episode, is just a fascinating human being. And you don't really know what to expect. But we got a chance to talk with her. Sierra and Justin finished that interview. And that is what you're about to hear next.
Carolyn, I love you. Great.
I don't care. It's fine. I gotta catch a flight.
Everybody hates.
The one guy everyone hates, me. Ooh. Come on, Carolyn, sit down. I gotta go to LAX. Yes, I know. I know. Yes.
I am.
Hurry up, please. I have to catch a flight.
Carolyn, run. Here,
I love her so much.
Where did she go?
Get in here. We're so excited to talk with you, Carolyn. How are you? Good. Carolyn just got in from LAX. I have to leave promptly for LAX. We're crossing paths in LA, but I had to stay behind at the risk of pissing off my entire family.
So I'm looking at that picture again, and I'm thinking it all over again. It's a mix between Pilot Pete.
I've gotten that a lot, too.
It's a mix between Pilot Pete and that other guy that I just said. You don't get that a lot? I'm sure all the time.
I got James Franco years ago. Lately, I've gotten Theo Vaughn. I used to get Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, I'll take any of them, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for having me. And honestly, I do better with chaos. So this is great. That's
great.
I know you seem very zen. For how chaotic
I do.
that was.
I'm so used to it. It's like, let's go.
Well, I could talk to you for hours, but we only have like 10 minutes. So what do you want to
do? Let's do this. So you
talk
tell
your
me.
Shit. Talk your shit.
See, here's the deal. I'm leaving. I have a lot of like mentors right now.
Mentors?
Yes.
Okay.
So Boston Rob, Wes. Yeah. And so I'm in this like balancing act of like, Carolyn, like you're leaving. Because I don't want to be some bitter bitch who's like, in the game, I already get made fun of enough for being so emotional. Like, doesn't she know what she's doing out there? Doesn't she know she's playing a game? Yes, I do. But the Traitors is different. We're not playing like a Big Brother Survivor. This is different. So yeah, but I'll always cry in everything, and then I'm okay. I don't get what people are so freaked out by like crying too.
It's
like,
the internet, Carolyn.
Let me get. I'm doing just fine.
I stopped listening to the internet a long time.
I don't read, but people will send. I don't even know like I'll know like, okay, everyone loves you or everyone hates you or everyone's pissed about this or everyone. Other than that, but I'm trying to like leave on a good note.
Here's all that matters. You were excellent television.
Thank you.
We enjoyed watching you.
Do you think that I thought that like, you're used to being around people and like you have a lot of, who was just on this show? It was like someone really big apparently. You're used to it. I'm not. I'm from Minnesota.
I'm from Wisconsin.
Oh,
yeah.
That changes a lot then. Okay, never mind. Then like so it takes a while to get used to this stuff, right?
I mean, you know, you don't know much about me, but like long time ago, I was on The Bachelorette and I was a villain. By many people, one of the most hated of all time.
Yeah. Why?
It doesn't matter because it's reality TV. Who cares? If it's The Bachelor, you get shit on for like breathing the wrong way. And then I just didn't give a fuck. I've never really given a fuck in most of my life, and I sense that's similar to you. But like I just don't care.
Absolutely. But I am like, that's the thing. I'm a very emotional person, and I have so much empathy. And so even if somebody like screws me over, let me like have my minute to be like, and then I'm gonna like, it hurts me if I'm hurting you, so I don't like it. But I don't read a whole ton of crap. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just texting my wife. I'm not ignoring you.
I'm used to it.
I'm listening.
But my point too, I'll just talk. My point too is like, you're used to like, I show up in this castle. I don't know who a lot of the people are. And I'm scared. I'm really, really nervous because it's not what I'm used to. It's not like, I don't Selling Sunset or any of these big shows. People are so used to like even being on TV, being on camera. And so I'm not kidding you. You know how many times I was like, what are people's real personalities? Because it's like the camera comes out and then I don't have that.
Who was the most disingenuous person of the cast? Who was the most on camera on?
I would like, honestly, Danielle was one of them. And I don't want to just say that because I don't like her, but it was just a very.
But you don't.
No. I don't. I didn't expect it. So, for example, I would say like the Bob the Drag Queen, it really is like the same person on and off camera. Chrishell, she is just very good at like, saying the things and being so.
She's polished, period.
Yes, because she's been doing this. Yeah. But there's just like with Danielle, I'm like, I did not expect this. Like we go, because one-on-one, I'm like, okay, yeah, like we're getting along. And then in the turret, it was just, and I completely just took that as like somebody who's like playing their, like she's trying to do like, well, maybe what Phaedra did or like, because when they picked me as a traitor, I said, I'm not an actress. I'm not going to be like murder or talking like that. I'm just going to be like myself.
I'm sure they were like, we don't need you to be your.
No, I know, right? Like, but I did. I was like, So I felt like, okay, there's people that are going to like, I expected, because that's what always bothered me about reality TV. Good is you go on reality TV and people aren't real. And I know, does that sound stupid? It's true. And so I didn't, with Survivor, it's like people are just so raw and like, you really can't hide much. You're all out there. I knew it would be a bunch of people who just want screen time and like, what do I need? I wasn't thinking like that. Like, what do I go out there and say to make sure that I'm getting the airtime? A lot of people think like that.
What did you think of Danielle swearing on kids and grandkids and all these people? And
yeah, and you know what?
You don't have to whisper. You can just say it with your chest.
Here, I'm going to be honest with you, Nick, because it is hard because she's getting so much hate right now that it has because I had a lot of poems about her and I was like pissed. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, it's a game, Carolyn, but I don't believe that. That's just what I'm told. The swearing on your grandkids thing. So again, I have like a hard time like talking crap because she's already getting so much hate. So it sucks. But here's my opinion outside of like the shit talking is that when I watched the Traitors, and I know we're only on season 3, I just didn't expect anyone to go to that level. Oh, well, here's the deal. We're playing a game. And I never even knew what the prize pot was at. I'm not rich, but like, girl, you were going, like, I'm not going to do anything like, it was just not like, and I truly thought that this was a game, like to have fun. And for me, good. People watch like Big Brother and these shows, and it's like almost like go watch football or something. I don't watch it for like the strategy or, oh, you did it. I don't like have some strategy, but I don't give a shit about like this move or this move. I don't. I want to be entertained, and I don't get entertained by that. And so it was hard for me. I didn't think like we needed to go to that level with the people that we were playing with. And I'm not saying the people we were playing with aren't intelligent, but what I'm saying is like, you think Dolores thinks that people do that? No! Or Lord Ivar? They don't. And Chrishell. So seeing Chrishell, and that's when I really knew, I was like, she had tears in her eyes. Tears. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was doing that good. And like, well, that's the game. That's Big Brother. That's other shit. Not the Traitors is.
Yeah, I would definitely not. Even if like I was faithful and someone asked me to swear on anyone, anything of value, if I was a faithful, I'd be like, no, it's stupid. It's like, no, like I wouldn't, like I would be offended by that position.
But the argument is like that's the gamers versus non-gamers. And that's like, you do what you got to do to win. That's how those Big Brother fans are.
I mean, that's a little nuts. Yeah. I don't care that much. Like if I think I've become a fan of the show. I've watched it. Like they've asked me to the show in the past. I have been able to make it work. I hope someday I'll have a chance to do it in the future. But like I wouldn't care that much to swear on my kid's life.
I know exactly. Like again,
I would care. I would try. I would have fun. I'd get into it. But like the moment someone's like swear on your kids, I'm like fuck off.
It's not that serious.
It's not that. And so for me, I was coming off of a hard year, and you know what? I was excited when I got that call because I'm not some 2-time winner. I'm not some freaking Survivor champion Hall of Fame. So I was freaking excited. I just wanted to go wild, bust out. And so it did. It sucked. I thought that it was a show for like fun. I mean, we're in a freaking castle. We got Lala. We got like, come on. So, but it was a great time.
You hated it.
No, no. I'm great.
You had fun.
I had fun. But I could have had more fun if it wasn't so serious. And again, and I don't want to say this. I don't want to be like, the gamers are ruining the show. I don't think that they're ruining the show, but it doesn't need to be taken to that level of like, it takes the fun out of it. Because at the end of the day, you want to watch people having fun on a TV show, not like taking like personal attacks or like swearing on their kid. That becomes icky in my opinion, which is probably why they edited it out.
Did you have a harder time watching it or doing it?
Oh, girl. Doing it, watching it, like I don't, and I really don't get embarrassed easily. I could literally like shit on this couch right now.
I'd rather you not.
Which did happen out there.
It was expensive.
But like with something else. But anyway, like I did it.
You shit your pants out there?
No, I got my period on the breakfast chair, the first, and I know, is that inappropriate?
No, not for us.
And you know, so you try going to breakfast. You're a woman, you understand.
Yeah.
I go down to breakfast. This is my first breakfast. I'm wearing a yellow skirt and I'm excited. I'm feeling cute. They already had to tape my nipples to the thing and my bra was coming off. So I was already a little bit stressed, but it's my first breakfast where I have to like, hi, I get up and there's like a murder scene and I am like, oh my God, what do I do? And thankfully Dolores helped me. But like, yeah, I literally like, I am a murderer and I have blood all over me and I am, yeah.
You're like, wow, she's a traitor.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I died. So yeah, that's the type of shit that just happens to me. But even then I didn't get like.
Blood on your hands.
Yeah. Like.
Sorry, I could go on.
It's nasty. But no, like I am grateful for the experience because it is such a huge freaking show and it's so incredible. And when you're out there, like it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's a cool show. So no like monster's gonna ruin that for me.
I could have so many questions, but I have to go.
But yeah, you gotta go. Like, girl.
I'm gonna leave. If you guys have more questions,
great.
Ask Caroline. Thank you for making the time.
Yeah, this was like, girl, I was like, I'm not coming from the air, but no.
Caroline, it's been so much fun. Thanks for
Girl,
taking
my
the time.
name's Carolyn.
Caroline, that's what I said.
I didn't want to correct you, but like, because
I get bad with names.
I've told him so many times.
What am I saying, Caroline?
You're still changing it.
I'm saying Caroline.
It's okay. We've got multiple shows where it's Carolina, Carolyn, Caroline, and he says them all interchangeably.
No one gets my last name right.
I don't. How do you say it?
Great question.
How is it?
It's Viall. People say Viall. Viall.
Girl, that's because you literally rhyme your show with girl, like Viall.
I'm an idiot. What do you want me to say?
I thought this was a crime pod. I'm like, when they asked if I wanted to do the Viall files, I was like, I'm not doing some like investigation discovery shit.
Maybe that's our problem.
Is that the problem?
Maybe we have a marketing problem.
You know what I'm saying? The Viall files. I thought this was some sort of a like.
I started a
crime
podcast 6 years ago. I Topher Grace gave me the idea of the name. I was like, cool, that rhymes. And then like, I if I knew this show would be as big and successful as it was, I would have thought of something different.
So no, you're doing a great job. I'm jealous. So that's the truth.
It's too late for a rebrand.
Carolyn, did I get it right?
Thanks for having me, Nick.
I love you. I'm so sorry I have to go.
No, it's all good. I'm really grateful to be here.
Well, can I just say you're my favorite on Traitors? I haven't seen a single episode of Survivor,
wow.
But you make me want to watch it.
Well, say that to Jeff Probst. That's really
bring her back
because
all stars.
Not even that, but like that. This show, like it truly. This brings other people in who's never. And I've had so many people reach out to me and was like, I never saw Survivor, and now I'm watching. So it's true. It brings to because again, like. People warn me like, okay, like there's different fan communities, like the Bravo people, and I've been now exposed to like all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Every little community is different.
Would you say that the survivors are grouped into like the gamer tag of it all?
I feel like, okay, yes, the gamers, but I feel like Big Brother though is like its own, which 100%. Is so crazy. It's both CBS, it's both like the gamer category. But I feel like the Big Brother like fandom, that's a different, I don't even know what that's on.
Because I mean, the whole point of like Big Brother is like being manipulative and like trying to get people out, but you're all like living in a house together. I'm like, at least Survivor, it's like you're trying to survive and then vote people out.
At least I can get the hell away from these people. Like I would never be able to do Big Brother, and it ain't even about the live feeds and all that bullshit. It's about being trapped in a house.
Yep.
My
nightmare.
No. And even on Traitors, like I could at least like, because I would get like, usually I would just say like I like poop my pants or something truly and just go and just get a minute alone I need that. I cannot be around. I can't be on 24/7. I can't. And it's so much in a day that like it's hard. So on Big Brother, hell no. No, but the gaming level of like,
yeah,
no,
What's like going through your mind, especially your last episode, while everybody's trying to like figure out like who's getting murdered or like who they think traitors are, like what's going through your mind while you're sitting there like knowing that you are a traitor and hearing everybody's theories or guesses and like
wait, hold on, were we talking about the last episode?
Yeah, like the last episode specifically, but like even just any breakfast in general. Like
that's the thing. It's so my whole thing always, this was my plan, because I'm like, we're supposedly faithful, so like let's just go with the evidence. Unfortunately, the evidence typically is just like someone sneezed in a certain direction or something just so stupid. And so but it's like you take hold of it. So that was my plan. That was what I was going to do. So one person, so like Robin, I remember had said something about Wells. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. It was early on. Like, who cares? And so, okay, make it stick. And that's why I felt like I had so much on Danielle when I finally was going for her that I was like, but I couldn't make it stick. And then I believe at the end, like people just knew she was a traitor, not all of them, but some. And so I get like, whatever. But early on, it's kind of, and then the theories, the cage theory and all this, like, it's not fun playing like that. I would much rather like vote people out because, they sneezed that day or something. These theories and these, but I tried to play the game with like, let's just follow the evidence. And it's like, girl, I just wanted to have fun, truly.
How hard was it working on a team of traitors that couldn't get on the same page? And that was including Rob and Danielle.
Bob the drag queen.
It was like, I've watched the show. I've watched all the seasons. I've watched the UK, like all of them. And I'm like, yeah, I am a fan and I do own a cloak and I sleep in it. And I am like, that was a dream. I was excited. My whole thing going in was like, okay, I'm not going to go for them until they come for me or they like, or until it becomes so obvious that one of them are a traitor, then like, yep, I'll throw them under the bus. Like, or I'll vote along with it. But I'm not going to like, that was never, but we start going for each other so quick. And again, I didn't see it. Like, I understand where Rob was coming from now, but out there, no, I was like, your ego. And like, honestly, coming off of my like own like whole era of like, don't you tell me what to do. I'm an independent. Like I was bringing a whole ton of that in there.
Period.
And I've seen Boston Rob seasons and I'm like, I don't want to be your Philip because that was like, he had his little like person on the side. I was like, no, I don't want. And it was a lot of my own shit of like, I don't trust a man. I don't. And especially one who is like Boston Rob, good. You're too good. And I was intimidated. I was jealous of him. Good. So I'm like, you can talk perfect. You can, even that round table where he went, I didn't want him gone. I had written him a poem. I just didn't get a chance to read it to him in person yet. But I didn't want him to go, but it would like truly, certain things would trigger me, like the way people treated Tom, because I saw a lot of myself in Tom.
Okay.
And good. And I shouldn't see, it's like the cool thing to do right now is to make fun of Tom. The cool thing to do is to, he's a, dirtball and he's a narcissist and he's all like, I love Tom and I don't like cancel me tomorrow. I don't like, I will say that out loud because I truly don't believe that anyone ever deserves to be judged forever by their past. I am somebody who I don't have a good past. I used to hate myself. I used to not like the person I was. I've done some bad things that I'm not proud of. So has Tom. And it's like, how long does this person have to like be punished? So again, I'm not going to like, there's people who don't like him for certain reasons and that's fine. Like go ahead and not like him. You may have like a personal experience with him. But my experience with him, I loved him. So when people weren't listening to him, it like, even though I was wanting to work with Rob, I mean, I wasn't going to like go above and beyond to save him because I couldn't. The way that Tom, like he's saying valid points. He's saying things that did make sense that day, but nobody would listen to him because it was Tom. And so I spoke up and I'm like, just like he did this group mentality of like, and I get jealous of people like, I'm just being real. This is like embarrassing, but it's true. I just was like, I'm so sick of you sounding so perfect and sounding, and again, he's a great person and but out there, I was like, I can never talk like that. I could never be like that eloquent speaker. And you know what? Somebody who's like a little bit weird and quirky like Tom, no one's going to listen to. So again, I saw myself in that and I'm like, just shut up and let him talk.
Yes.
Was he as sweaty in person as we saw on TV?
Yeah, just at the beginning. But you know what I'm saying? I like literally got my period on the breakfast chair. So it's like, who the hell?
Okay.
You know what
Valid.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all like, we're all humans. Who the hell hasn't sweat here? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be like, okay, but he literally was wearing like a gray. That is the worst color to wear. And the man lost his bag or his luggage wasn't there yet. He did not have any clothing. So it's like he was working with what he could work with and wearing that hot ass sweater. It was like literally thicker than. And then he's wearing a gray t-shirt.
Yeah.
I love Tom. And I truly believe, and I've told him this a million times. I was like, you are a freaky, like you're a weirdo. he is a weirdo in the best way, though. And I love freaks and I love weirdos and I love people who are different. From the minute, and I'm like, ooh, so I always loved just like fucking around with him and scaring him. And I'd like be spying on him and doing weird shit. I loved him. But he opened up about like his struggles and what it just crap. And again, what drew me to him, though, was I saw myself in him. I saw like the people not taking him seriously. I've experienced all of that.
Yeah.
There's many times out there where I felt like the female Tom.
Because you did say that during the chess game or something. You were saying how like nobody listens to you.
So here, and then Dylan, like, sorry, don't be you, like, girl. You see me and Dylan talking, and he's like, I know, and I hate that because I go, if I were Boston Rob, would you be listening right now? He's like, I know, and I hate that I've been doing this to you, not listening. And then you hear him say before that, he's talking about how nobody thinks that but Carolyn. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's not, girl, we've seen it. People not listening to me. Like, stop. But anyway, he, with that chess thing, and this is like the human part of me because I can never play any of these damn games. I don't care how much the prize pot is. I don't care how, I can never play and I can't separate it. I try and then I can't. Tom was on a mission to redeem himself.
Right.
Tom was on this, I'm going to be a faithful. He took it very seriously, as we saw in the lullaby thing. He was trying really hard. I remember I was like, because for me, like, I ain't going to be running really hard. You're not going to catch me. No way. I loved Kate's style of like, just like throwing stuff and like, I'm not hauling all this gunpowder because I know that there's about 5 other macho men who want to have that moment and that shot of them running. Let them. I told Gabby, I'm like, girl, we can take a break right here hauling that freaking.
Yes.
I don't care. I don't care if my head's up there. I'm a traitor. But like, I just didn't care when it came to that. So with Tom was trying. He was trying. So for me, I'm like, when he said like, oh, he's the leader, or had said, I think he had answered it first that he could be the leader. Okay. I just wanted for one moment for Tom to not fucking feel alone and feel like there was somebody else on that cast who believed in him. That's the truth. That is my heart talking. And I wanted him to just feel for one fucking second that he was not alone in thinking that he could be this leader.
Yeah.
And I know that's like good. And like, again, obviously it's like we see him mess up a lot and we see him like, I don't care. I love it. And I really hope that even as he watches this back, it's like, I feel like this has helped him. I feel like it's kind of made him like a little bit lovable.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Should I shut up about Tom?
No.
I do. I think he's great. And I just don't think that anyone needs to be punished,
No,
for
it's like
the rest of their life.
The doll challenge, I feel like, made him so endearing because he really was trying so hard.
I mean, I don't know if they put this on, but he was like warming up. And
vocal less.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it. But again, and so when other people would be like side-eyeing him, I would be like, go, Tom. And I wasn't doing it in like a condescending, like me. I would always tell people, shut up. Like, because I get those looks too. And you saw it during the season. Like I get that all the time.
Yeah.
So I can just relate to that. And I loved him. Good. Put me in prison.
I do really respect this about you because I know when you were banished, you had your kind of little speech of like being judged for being different or being quirky. Like we're more than just that. Like we are humans. You can like see us past that. And I respect that you're like taking an inclusive approach of seeing people for who they are beyond what's not the norm.
And I loved Nikki had a similar of just because people were judging her and thinking that she was going to like, and it's like, seriously, Wes? Because Wes expected her to like come out apparently in a wrestling outfit.
Like table slam him.
Like, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking like, this isn't the wrestling ring, but I'm a traitor. And so I'm like, yeah, it's Nikki.
Yeah.
But Nikki was set like, because Nikki was pretty quiet when she was out there. She was pretty reserved. She had her people. You know what I'm saying? Nikki is not like, this is not what does she wrestle for? The
WWE?
Yeah. This isn't the wrestling ring, but she said that like, I loved her speech. I thought it was beautiful because it is so true. Like we have these, and I did it. I'm not going to lie. I did it to people out there where I judged them or I thought Wes was a freaking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ew. He was one of the first people that I was like, oh my gosh, I was wrong. You are not an asshole. You are blah, blah, blah. Same with Boston Rob.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wes is a sweetheart?
I thought he was amazing. I thought that I had a good experience with him. Because I know, too, isn't there like some aggressive talk or something? Like, I didn't have that experience. But even like when I watched the show back and saw even like how Boston Rob talked with Chrishell, I'm thinking in my head, like, me and Boston Rob did not have that type of relationship. But at the same time, I'm a traitor like with Boston Rob.
Right.
You have to like spend time and have your little like alliances and whatnot. But we like in Boston Rob's defense, we never had the time to like actually sit down, and it was always like, quick, what are we gonna do? Go. And that's it. So of course. But with Wes, I just found him like, again, like his jokes and like, in my opinion, like not everyone understood his humor.
Right.
But I thought he was like, the first thing I said to him, I'm like, how the hell have you been doing this for this long? And he's like, Carolyn, I am dead inside. And he was like, but he's like, I have to just separate it. Yeah. And he's like, he always calls himself a sociopath. And I'm like, you're not. First of all, he really is. He is somebody who has helped me a lot, even after the game. And I think he's a great person. I think he like turns it on and off for TV, but truly is, even out there, I saw a very kind person because he knew who I was from Survivor. And he's like, yep, you're the one who just makes all those faces. And I'm like, I'm more than that, Wes. Yeah. But no, I thought he was great.
Do you think, because you've talked about like group mentality, that there's like a popular kids group in the castle?
Oh, girl, yeah, I was trying to get in with those Bambis from Hawaii.
The Bambis,
yeah,
okay.
The Bambis.
Girl.
Yeah.
And like, again, but at the same time, it's exhausting to, here's the truth. I had some really like, just moments like off camera with people where it was like, oh my gosh, where I'm like connecting with them and I would just feel gross and make fun of me. I don't care. It felt so icky I know we're not actually murdering them, but for this, the only way I would have been able to do this role of the traitor is if I could just, again, keep it light and blah, blah, blah. But it felt so like unfair to be doing this with like, you know, a Tom or a housewife, or do you get what I'm saying? It felt so gross because they are not well, maybe they should be used to it then, Carolyn. I don't care. It felt icky. So when I would like bond with these people, I felt gross inside. So when I'd be crying, like, and this is like off camera conversations of like real life stuff going on where I'm connecting, and I'm thinking like Dolores specifically, she knew some just stuff that was going on in my life and we're crying. And then I'm like, oh my God, and I just murdered Robin. And it felt like good. I don't care. It didn't feel good for me. I don't like to, so when I said I wanted to be a traitor, but I thought that, and I even asked Sandra before the show, I said, are people like, because when you watch, there's not a whole ton of like backstory or like, because on Survivor, it's like, this is what I went through and accomplished. And like, it talks about like just my life. I thought with Traitors, I'm like, they don't do that shit here. Right. So even like when there were times where I was talking like, because there's times where it's like, okay, just save that for the camera or whatever. I was like, do you guys even give a shit about this past stuff or my trauma? Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought this show was just like upbeat and fun and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, they're not going to use that anyway. But I would have those like, Sandra had said like, oh yeah, no girl, like we're just playing and it's like blah, blah, blah. No, like, again, there are people who obviously are going, and I'm not saying it's not okay to emotionally manipulate people. I just can't, I could do that in Survivor with other gaming people. Yeah. It just felt icky in that environment. So when I would connect and it just felt like wrong.
Yeah. You're making me think of MJ last season where it's like she's from Bravo and she got played last minute by the two gamers left, Trishelle and CT. Mm-hmm. And like for me as a viewer, I felt so betrayed for her. And then people, and this is what I hate too, like shut up and let her feel it. Like let her, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that hurt. I was even shocked. I was like, come on, she's clear. Like y'all knew, but that's the game. I don't care. I don't like watching games like that. Let's all win together then. Yeah. I don't care. Good. We all, and I guess I can respect how other people feel too. That's just not how I feel. And I did not, when I would see like Danielle crying to that extreme, I'm like, girl,
I don't like this. I don't want to do that. And so I was like, the only way I can do this is if I try to keep it surface level or if I try to just, hi. And so I really did. I was like, just do the best that you can and have like the how you doing bullshit conversations, but that sucks too.
Yeah.
From the chess game, when did you kind of realize that Danielle had...
No.
You didn't?
No. We're sorry, finish.
I was just know if you realized that Danielle double-crossed you or that you outed yourself with helping Tom with the answer.
Okay. No, here's the deal. That was me believing in Tom.
Okay.
And, yeah, good. I put that answer because it was freaking funny. Like, that's the thing. You could like create a million different scenarios with like when she was like, see, I set her up with that Brittany one because Brittany, I'm close with Brittany, blah, blah, blah. And that makes it look suspicious. Yeah, girl. Gabby was picked for the Two-Face one too. I don't think that was on there. Gabby was picked for the Two-Face one. But I don't talk like that. And I'm not going to go in my damn confessional and be like, you see here, I'm close to Gabby. And that's going to put suspicion on Danielle. No, I don't. I was just like, whoa, that's me. So no, anytime, and I would say this, even when we were thinking of like who to murder, I was like, I almost need to do the damn opposite of anything that this person says. That's how I felt. So that's why I say, I think there's a confessional where I say something like, I'm like overthinking everything. So if she's agreeing to something, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, no, then I should do the opposite. So you tried like thinking like that. But when it came, I willingly put myself as the like loud voice where no one listens to voice. Because this was my thought, okay? My thought was like, I'm so loud about this. I am so loud about no one listens to me. And nobody did that. It would look way too freaking, like that is like the double obvious of like a traitor would never freaking put themselves as that position as I am the loud ass one being like, no one listens to me.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, they clearly just thought I was a complete fucking idiot. That's my opinion. Sorry, clearly if they're like, the Carolyn put herself there. My problem, yes, I answered it because that's what we were doing. We were going off of whether I believe it or not. So again, because Dylan's like, nope, that's not what everyone thinks. Yes, it is, first off. But second, we were going off of like the read of the room. And recently I had been saying it so much. So it was like, okay, well, I guess I always say that. So that could be an answer. Just like Sierra had said, Brittany's or going under the radar or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the read of the, like what.
From what just happened.
What just happened. No. But yeah, the only suspicious thing I did was argue with Dolores.
Okay.
And then stand up for Tom too much. Good. That's my heart talking.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. I never felt like suspicious. But again, that wasn't enough to get me like, it's all good. Like truly.
So were you shocked by Danielle turning on you at the round table?
Yes. I like, girl. I wasn't prepared, but I was too hard on myself like I always am. And when I say like I wasn't ready, like I wasn't prepared for like just a lot of the stuff that she said because I felt like it was so crazy that I was like, this is not happening because I felt so gaslit. Where it's like, and then I'm saying things and it was just flipped around like it like, oh, I've been scared and Jeremy. And I'm like, wait, what? How is this happening? I was in shock.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I truly wanted to just wait. Because it's scary. Like, again, I'm playing. I love Tom, but I knew I couldn't depend on Tom. You think I'm going to be like, yo, Tom, like before here, can I count on you? This ain't like Survivor where you can freaking do that and like pull together numbers. You can't. Well, I guess Boston Rob can.
Yeah.
I can't. And so before that round table, first of all, there was not time. So I had talked to Gabby and I had talked to Dylan. Okay. That Lord, I knew Dolores was not like, I'm like, girl, she ain't going to vote for Danielle. Tom, I knew I couldn't depend on, but I figured he could at least read the room long enough to like understand like this is where the vote was going and like pick me. But I just didn't think I'd be out. I really didn't. So yeah, I have a plan, Carolyn. I didn't freaking need one because I literally have been, and I didn't think of the chess crap as like, woo, I gave it all away. So you know what I'm saying? I was not, and again, like, girl, she's like, you photoshopped a picture of or you photoshopped your head on the body of a traitor. You think I can tell Lord Ivor or Dolores or anyone else there that like, hey, the season 2 cast, they're all wearing cloaks. Janelle wasn't a traitor, though. I just used her body when I photoshopped my face on it. You know, I was embarrassed. I was like looking at Ellen like, oh my God. And she owns a cloak. Yeah, I do, girl. I sleep in it.
Yeah.
I think you're just authentic.
Like,
That's how I read it.
But it was just like, can you imagine? How am I supposed to? Like, but it was so ridiculous, the stuff that I was like, I just remember looking at Alan and feeling so embarrassed because I'm like, yeah, I do sleep in a cloak, Alan. It was, yeah.
Would you say that a lot of the distrust within the Traitors came from like Danielle playing games?
Really, when I think about this, honestly, thankfully, Boston Rob did that. Otherwise, it kind of, well, no, then Dylan had obviously told me that Danielle's throwing my name out, and I found out that started like the crazy, but I understand why he did that. But I don't care what anybody says. Once somebody does that to you, it's really hard to like be like, all right, let's play together and like move on.
She kept doing it too.
It's like,
so.
But then I know, but like to the audience though, they don't really hear. It's like, I've been trying, but Carolyn's unstable. Yeah, I am unstable now.
Well, you've got reunion coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm lying. I'm lying. And here's why. Things do hurt me. But again, I write about it. I journal about it. And it was the same way on Survivor where I had my meltdown. It's like people don't realize that these games, like it's a lot. And I play as myself. So things hurt. Okay? Things hurt. And I would like argue in my head, like, well, Carolyn, this is a part of your strategy. Yours, but it's like, yeah, but it's myself. And so when I see the side eyes and but it helps you in the game, it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't mean that words don't hurt still. Right. And again, it's like at the end of the day, what do I change? What do I got to change? Because if I might get far in the game, but if nobody is actually respecting you or taking you seriously, then what is the point? Mm-hmm. What's the point? So it's like, I don't like but I don't want to change. Good. So I'm excited, but I'm,
do you have things prepared that you want to hash out or?
Nope.
No.
And you know what? And I said this before the Traitors. I was like, because I do trip over my words. I have a slow processing speed. I am somebody who needs a minute. And I get really triggered by people yelling at me. And I get really triggered by people talking down to me. Like, you don't know my life and what, like, and that's the thing. We don't know what people have been through before you. And when you're talked to like that, it's like, girl. So what was I saying? Like, yeah, this reunion. Yeah, it's hard. So like going into this, it's like, so like for Final Tribal at Survivor, I was like, I'm just going to speak from my heart. It's like, when am I going to learn? But I don't really give a shit. Like, I'm not changing. And I was like, I wonder if I should take some debate classes before the Traitors and just like, because I want to sound polished sometimes. I want to sound like Boston Rob sometimes. Yeah. But then I wouldn't be me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, so I guess I'll just like cast me again and I'll make it to episode. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. But like, yes, sometimes I wish that I didn't react so emotionally. Sometimes I wish that, but again, at the end of the day, like that's me and I can't turn that off. That's not a character. So yeah, comments hurt. So going into the reunion, I guess I should have but yeah, once again, I'm not going to be prepared and we'll see how it goes. But Boston Rob will defend me.
Well, we absolutely loved watching you on Traitors, and I think you should stay being authentically yourself.
Yes.
And please come back to Survivor, and I'll watch my first season with you on it.
Thank you.
Well, we're wishing you the best of luck for the reunion, and we're
come back after.
For you. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm going to look cute. That's all I care about, to be honest.
That's all that matters.
I don't really, the rest, like, are we supposed to, yeah. And I already know it's going to be like that, where it's going to be like, I don't want good. Let me be positive, but that's not entertaining, right?
It is for us.
I was to say, I love it. I love you. So
we love you.
I just don't want to again, this is like, I had my moment after the show watching it because I was like, ooh, but now I'm in a place where it's like, I don't want to there's nothing that anyone is going to say. I don't need to rehash this again and be like, what'd you do? I don't with her. I don't.
Not worth it.
I feel good. And I really do feel like, I did my best. And again, it's not about that. I'm not a gamer in that sense of like, and this was my move. I don't give a shit, and I don't care to like. No, smells like something in here, but I don't know what. What is? It's those candles. Why are they so big? Would you like
so big?
God. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you to our guests, Carolyn and Taylor, for joining us today. Don't forget, no Going Deeper tomorrow, but there is one this Friday. We'll have one of the finalists from the Traitors on this Friday for an awesome Going Deeper. It'll be exactly the person you hope it will be. That's what I think. Tell me I'm wrong on Friday. That's this Friday. And again, we're back on Thursday's reality recap. See you then. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.